Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Cascus playthrough. Last time, we helped Captain Colleen and her crew complete the heist of Headman Bosek's shipping logs. We then fled Stursmakai on her ship the Spearhead, and we've now been taken as a passenger to her home base, the island of Betnikh, which is an island off of High Rock, but it's currently not held by the Daggerfall Covenant, instead being held by an independent orcish clan called the Seamounts. We're going to learn a lot more about them in this episode. So here we are on Betnikh. As we can see in the distance there, the great orc fortress of Stonetooth Fortress is awaiting us, looming in the distance. But first, let's go ahead and check in with everyone on the ship to see what everyone has to say about our new situation here. Never hurts to kind of see how different characters have how their stories have progressed and their little comments that they've made about their situations, and they may give us some insight about Betnikh. A lot of the lore of this game is found by sort of gleaning from all the various little NPC dialogue, so let's just kind of snoop around and find everyone, see what people have to say about Betnikh. We don't know much about Betnikh at this stage, or at least Cascus canonically doesn't know much about Betnikh. I know a lot about Betnikh, obviously as a player, but he wants to find out information about this island now that he's here. And he would still like to go on to Daggerfall, but he's suspecting he's going to get roped into something here. Plus, he owes Captain Colleen, so he wants to help her out. Sounds like she wants to talk with the orcs here about joining the Covenant.
I don't trust these orcs. Their chief refuses to join the Covenant. No idea why.
So you're a cook?
One of the finest, my good friend. I used to own my very own tap cafe in Wayrest, before that thug Ugers closed me down. I hope to open another one once I collect enough coin. Maybe in Daggerfall.
Interesting. When we get to Wayrest, we need to look for someone named Ugers to verify this guy's story.
Hungry?
No. But yeah, something I like about this game quite a bit that I've mentioned before is the NPCs, are very much subjective characters, right? Like they're in the world, they have their own perspective on the world. And the things they tell you are not, always factually true. They're telling you their understanding of things. So you get, in order to sort of piece together the reality of this setting, you have to really talk with everyone to get all the different sides of information to kind of piece it together yourself.
I shall remain aboard until we reach Daggerfall, my friend. An island full of orcs would try my patience.
Sure. I shouldn't be too surprised to see Red Guard characters that are a little racist against orcs. The orcs in the Red Guard in particular don't have a pleasant history. Actually, all three of the Covenant races, orcs, Red Guard, and Breton, all historically have not liked each other. That's one of the most interesting things about the sort of concept of this game, or kind of the initial premise of this game in terms of the politics, is that all three of the covenants, or rather all three of the alliances, the Daggerfall Covenant, Aldmeri Dominion, and the Ebonheart Pact, are made up of historic enemies, or at least races that haven't historically been friendly with each other, because they're all geographically connected or kind of close to each other. So it's pretty interesting how the game really leans into the racial tension that is within each of these different alliances. So it's pretty interesting to kind of navigate. I actually feel really positively about the way that this game and the Elder Scrolls setting more broadly handles the topic of race and racism. I don't think it does everything perfectly, but I think compared to other fantasy settings, the issue of how racism works as a behavior is much more realistic in Elder Scrolls, whether ESO or the single-player games, because, it's easy to imagine that racism is extreme, violent racism, swearing and using racial epithets. That's a kind of racism for sure, but most racism isn't that extreme. Most racism is more subtle, more sort of under the radar. And most of the racism in Elder Scrolls is like that. It's more subtle, more kind of implication of racism. And if you've ever been someone who's experienced racism, you probably know that most racism that you experience isn't the over-the-top, extreme, clear racism. It's the more subtle, kind of questionable, you have to second guess yourself. Is this racist? Is this for some other reason? And the horror of racism is that it leads you to always be second guessing, is this person just a generic jerk, or are they a racist jerk, right? Is the thing they've said about me or against me because of racism, or is it because of some other thing, right? That's how bigotry works in general, right? One of the many problems with bigotry, and one of the dangers and issues with bigotry, is that it breaks down the ability of people to have normal social relationships, because it prevents people from being able to, have the normal sort of lines of communication that everyone has with each other in a social environment. So, not that you need me to explain, 10 hours into this Elder Scrolls Online playthrough why racism is bad, but there you go. There's my stated reason why I think it's bad, among other reasons.
Sometimes I miss the swamps of my homeland in the Black Marsh, but it is good to be gone from the dry air of Stros Mackay.
Don't you want to go ashore?
Zooth, you speak as one new to the high seas. I have seen this island and countless others like it. The captain and Chief Tazgul have an arrangement. We have visited Betnikh more times than I can count.
What type of arrangement?
Chief Tazgul pays us well to acquire and deliver cargoes. I believe he pines for the days when his ancestors ruled the high seas, plundering and pillaging. Perhaps he sees some of himself in Colleen.
Interesting. So we're getting a lot of context here about Colleen's relationship with Tazgul and Betnikh. And given that Lambor is actually from Betnikh, I think we may even have a clue about how Colleen has met Lambor and why Lambor is such an important person on the ship. But it's interesting as well because we now know a lot about Colleen's patriotism to the Daggerfall Covenant, which it doesn't really square with this new information that she has historically been not just a pirate, but a pirate working for Betnikh, right? She's been bringing stolen goods to Betnikh. That's the implication. So there's a lot kind of to unpack here, because this means that, not only is Betnikh, ruled by orcs, but it's ruled by, an orc clan, the Seamounts. We've gotten some implication about it already. We're going to learn a lot more throughout this episode about the history of the Seamounts as pirates and plunderers. The Seamounts are in such a state of weakness that they aren't actually able to even do their own piracy. They have to contract with Captain Colleen to do piracy for them. And now their, contract pirate, Captain Colleen, has basically started to fancy herself as a privateer, not a pirate, and wants to be a patriot for the Daggerfall Covenant. So from the look of it, actually, this is a pretty embarrassing situation for the Seamounts. So that's what Cascus is thinking. Everything I'm mentioning here is what's sort of running through Cascus's head right now, because he's not specifically familiar with the Seamount orcs or, the history of Betnikh, but he knows a bad situation when he sees one, and this is not looking like a promising situation for the current state of the Seamount clan. But I guess we'll see what they have to say about themselves as we venture onto their island. Hello, Harridan.
I respect the captain, but I won't set foot on an island full of orcs.
What do you have against orcs?
I've heard all the talk about the Daggerfall Covenant. Captain Colleen mentions it enough. Orcs, Red Guards, and Bretons in a grand alliance. My ancestors fought at Orsini. Many died fighting the orcs. I respect them, but I'll never trust them.
What about Makog?
Larissa's choice, not mine. That said, Mekog's not bad for an orc. I'm not setting foot on an island full of them, especially not a clan that's refused to join the Covenant.
See, I love how there's so much subtlety in just a couple lines of this one NPC's dialogue that no one except for me has ever bothered to talk to, because on one hand you see, the way that racism affects someone's inability to logically think things through. This guy has just told me that he isn't sure about the Covenant because it's an alliance of, men with orcs. But then he also says he isn't sure about these orcs because they're not in the Covenant. So is he pro-Covenant or not pro-Covenant? Because these two different concepts that he's just mentioned can't coexist. But that's the thing with, bigotry. Bigotry is something that corrodes and destroys logic, right? Bigotry prevents you from thinking logically, from thinking with your full faculties, right? It's like a handicap placed on your own brain. And you can see how it leads to someone having two completely different ideas, right? I don't trust the Covenant because it involves orcs, and I don't trust these orcs because they're not involved with the Covenant. These two things are contradictions with each other, and yet this guy who has this racist belief about orcs can have both of them at the same time.
Careful here. These orcs aren't yet part of the Covenant, but I'm working on that. Feel free to check out Stonetooth Fortress. Maybe you'll meet a nice orc.
Why should they join the Covenant?
They aren't fools. Proud as the Seamount clan are, they can't deny the Covenant's strength in numbers. And they'll make a mountain of coins selling weapons to our alliance.
That's not a bad pitch, honestly. So that's the thing with Colleen is, like, even though her past is a bit shady and her current, like, priorities are a bit unclear, she's a pretty smart character, and she knows the exact best pitch to give to these orcs, right? Given from what we've heard about them so far, they don't seem to be in the strongest position. The best way to frame to an orcish clan, given their culture of honor and strength and not, looking weak, is to frame it not as, you're vulnerable, so join the Covenant for protection, but rather as, you're good at smithing, join the Covenant because we want your goods, right? Incidentally, if you know about the history of the Elder Scrolls world after this point, a lot of the ways in which orcs were culturally integrated into the Empire later on in history was through this exact same pitch of, you're great at smithing, smith all of our weapons and whatnot, because that's probably a better argument than, your clan is vulnerable, join the Empire for protection, but rather, powerful, smart, good at smithing orcs, join our Empire so you can smith for us, right? So you're able to kind of play on those cultural anxieties in an intelligent way. Alright, it's Kassan.
We have sailed often to Betnikh these last years. Chief Tazgol is a gracious host. In many ways, this is my second home.
I think those are both dialogues. We've already talked with him back on Stros Makai, so that's fine. Hello, Lokra.
You were among the crew that arrived with Lambour, yes? I envy you. Free to see the world and make of your life whatever you wish.
Note, by the way, that Lambour is on a first-name basis with random people on Betnikh, so Lambour is definitely from Betnikh. What is going on down here? Hello, Alwyn.
Stubborn orcs. I told Master Peverell this was a mistake. Not even part of the Covenant.
Look at this guy's, like, massive hands. Do you notice that? This guy's got monster hands. Yikes. Put those things away, my dude. Our letter from Paraval. Lady Delate. These Seamount orcs are intractable. They have no regard for outlanders, as they call us. My entreaties for a trading contract have been ignored. I know you are loath to give up a possible contract, but nothing is to be gained here. Your informant was correct that no one in Daggerfall has a viable trading contract with these savages. What he left out was that they have no desire for trade. Give me leave to return to Daggerfall. The conditions here are dreadful. They don't even have hot tea. Oh! And I have been forced to sleep in my boat for over a week now. I am ready to come home. Your servant, Paravel Stidfuseth. Alright. So that's not this guy. Did this guy say he was Master Paravel? This is the servant of Paravel. Alright. Well, let's see if we can find Paravel somewhere on this island, because this guy sounds like a real charmer. Right. No worms. We'll get the fish later. Oh, there's a person down here. If I jump down here, I can't jump back up. I have to go out the long way. So I don't think this person has any dialogue. It's someone that has a yellow name, which means they're actually a killable NPC because they were added whenever murdering NPCs became a feature. There's a lot of NPCs that are like that. They're just kind of here with yellow names.
Keep your weapon sheathed, newcomer. Good thing you sailed in with Captain Colleen. Outsiders aren't welcome on Betnikh, especially not now.
Oh, why not?
Bloodthorn cultists attacked the fortress. You're lucky you don't look like them. You'd have a spear in your belly.
Bloodthorn cultists, you say? Cascus's ears prick up. Also, the irony of this line is going to become apparent later on. Looks like the attack failed.
Of course. We slaughtered most. The rest fled. We stole something from the chief, but we'll get it back. We'll mop them up as soon as Chief Tazgol raises the army. You want to know more? Ask Lambour.
I'll go find her. Alright, so the Bloodthorns are on Betnikh, and unlike the details of the island of Betnikh, which Cascus wasn't too familiar with, he knows quite a bit about the Bloodthorns. He definitely knows quite a bit about the Bloodthorns. In fact, I guess I'll go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off now on Cascus's recent history. I'm not going to give a whole long, 30-minute spiel on his entire life story here, but in terms of what's recently happened to Cascus before he woke up in that cell on Dureni, with the elf and the you know, the room with the portals, was Cascus was actually a conscript of the Bloodthorn cult. He was not a willing participant, but he was forced through, let's just say for now, supernatural means to be a part of that cult and to accept powers from a member of that cult, which is why he has necromantic abilities, because the Bloodthorn cult is a cult of necromancers. And he's not, you know, ideologically on board with the Bloodthorns. He got, you know, involved through kind of a whole other thing, but he basically uses necromantic powers because he was taught to do so by Bloodthorns. And he is very much not okay with that. He wants to get some revenge, and we're going to learn a bit more about how it is that someone became forcibly transformed into a necromancer as we continue to explore his story. But it is connected very closely with the Bloodthorns, and with a particular Bloodthorn we will meet in Glenumbra. So, having given you all the hint finally about Cascus's backstory, let's continue exploring around. He's hoping, by the way, that he can start to piece together some clues about the whereabouts of this particular Bloodthorn, if there are Bloodthorns on this island. So he's gonna... Now he has a personal reason to not just go straight to Daggerfall. He wants to stay on this island and find out about the Bloodthorns.
Cursed Jakan. How does he slip about so easily? Turn my back for one moment and he's gone. He's probably off with those slatterns from Stros Mackay. If I find any of them, it won't be pretty.
I do like, by the way, that, you know, the Jakarn kind of like the sort of like environmental storytelling around Jakarn is that he's this, you know, roguish playboy. But, you know, in Elder Scrolls Online, over the course of Stros Mackay and Betnikh, the amount of time where he's playing all these people and like kind of they're all, you know, swooning over him and they don't realize that he's playing them all is like 5%, and then 95% is the rest of them like having discovered that he's doing that and they're all annoyed at him. Like, I just kind of think it's funny how quickly all these different women Jakarn is seducing, and one man that Jakarn is seducing, all immediately have realized that he's doing that, and they're all kind of like mad at him the whole time. Like, it's kind of it feels like kind of a subversion of the trope, you know? Alright, here we are. Something I kind of like a lot about, or why did I say like that? Something I like a lot, not just kind of like a lot, something I like a lot about Betnikh is that there's a combination of Breton and Orcish architecture, because it was a Breton island for a long time, but it's also recently been under Orcish control for a long time.
This island's too small for a man of my ambition.
Who are you? Alright, I guess it's probably some important lore character, and it's just a fun reference, but I don't know.
So many dead. You'd think even Bretons would know better than to attack an orc fortress.
What happened here?
Cultists attacked our fortress, Kazungash. They thought their magic would be too much for the primitive orcs. Funny that magic doesn't work when a mace caves in your skull.
What cult?
Bloodthorn. Necromancers who think too much of themselves. After we stopped the attack, Chief Tozgol ordered us to burn the bodies. Don't want them raising each other, eh?
Yeah. Suppose that's fair. Cascus is thinking quietly. This guy doesn't know that you can still raise a body that's been burned, but he's not going to rain on his parade with that information.
These bodies stink worse than high elf perfume. Makes you wonder if these cultists were dead before they attacked.
I mean, raising dead cultists as zombies to do an attack isn't the worst idea for a necromantic cult. Cascus thinks with some some feeling of guilt that he's capable of even thinking of that, but...
She was the beauty of the sea, the silverfish, but her captain drank and she fetched aground. Such was the will of the divines.
Was that so? Is that the silverfish over there? Very interesting. Alright. For now, we'll head to the market later. Let's first head up to the fortress and make our introductions to Chief Tazgul. It'd probably be impolite to wander around his town without going straight to him first, given the circumstances. I like these little orc tents as well. These are cozy. I would live in an orc tent IRL if I had one. Hello, Lirala the Wise.
Greetings, friend of Lambor. How can an old orc help you?
Nothing right now, I suppose. Here we are, Stonetooth Way Shrine. So here's a map of the island. This is the boat we just got off of, and we just walked around like this. So this is Betnikh. We're going to be exploring this island in this video. And here is Betnikh on the map. I think I showed this last episode, but yeah. Down here is Stros M'Kai. If you remember, this was the Stros M'Kai map. We've wrapped up Stros M'Kai, and we've now sailed up to Betnikh, which is much, much closer to High Rock. High Rock is basically this region over here with a couple different zones that it's split between. So that is the situation geographically. There's also some other islands nearby, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Also, incidentally, the island that we started the playthrough on, Durrani Island, is basically right here. We can't click on it, but that is where it is. So I think that's where it is. Yeah. Anyways, so let's continue exploring. Look at these guys. Cascus is worried that he's going to recognize somebody if he looks too closely.
Watch where you step. Still plenty of fresh corpses fouling up the place. Can't burn them soon enough, if you ask me.
I think Cascus is realizing that he needs to be pretty careful about revealing that he's a necromancer, because given that these orcs were just attacked by a necromantic cult, and necromancy is not exactly a common magical practice out in the world, if Cascus, you know, if Cascus reveals that he is also a necromancer, these orcs may just attack him on sight out of a reasonable abundance of caution, given what they just dealt with here.
How to make a living hunting around here? Between the orcs, the alien ghosts, and the cultists, game's scarce.
Well, I mean, you hunted yourself an entire loaf of bread, so good work on that one. I do love, by the way, that one of the eating icons is just holding an entire baguette and just, like, going to town. Like, do you ever eat a baguette just without cutting it? Like, sometimes when I have a baguette, it's just like, you know, like with, like, just holding it and eating it from the end. That's quite the look. Anyways, this person sleeping. Let's not bother them. Let's check on top of the tower here. I do like these orc tower models. Oh, hello, Smoog. That's a great name. Can I blow the horn? I want to blow the horn. I cannot blow the horn. Not yet, at least. Maybe later. Alright. There's a lot of activity going on here. I'm always just so impressed with how much, like, how many players actually are still playing this game, despite its age. Alright, let's come over here. Good boy.
Well.
Okay. It's kind of an ominous stall. What's this person selling? Death? What? Why is this stall so creepy? Like, what is this? What is that person? What kind of merchant were they? I'm just looking for little notes and whatnot. There's such an abundance of little notes tucked away everywhere, you always want to check. It's hard not to. Alright, hello, log on. I think this is her house behind her. Yeah, this is kind of a huge house.
I trust you are here to help. Dark rituals are being performed around the island. I first smelled the corruption on the wind. Then my shaman found evidence at an alien ruin nearby.
Who is performing the rituals?
The same cult that attacked the fortress. I sense a link between the attack and the rituals. There is a way to be certain. Chief Tazgol has forbidden me from pursuing this, so I ask you to.
How?
By the bridge to the south is a totem. Those who touch it see visions. It may show you a vision that links the attack to the rituals I feel corrupting the island. Follow wherever the vision leads you.
I will.
You journey into danger. Choose your steps carefully.
How can I see these visions?
The land remembers those who tread upon it, for good or ill. The totem taps into these memories and shows us the ghosts of the past.
I see. Well, perhaps she knows something about us to know that we can see these visions, but perhaps it's also something anyone can see. I suppose that is unclear at the minute. Anyways, let's head on up to the main fortress and make our introductions to the chief. First, though, let's go ahead and stop in the Loose Tooth Lodge. This looks interesting. this is cozy. Let's see what people have to say around here.
What?
Alright, nothing for you. I see the accommodations in this lodge are not the most luxurious, but Cascus, you know, from his army days, can appreciate falling asleep on a pelt on a stone floor. That could be pretty comfortable when you're tired enough, honestly.
Hello there.
More good boys, love that. Something for. Oh, here's the innkeeper, Shagrod.
Beds? Ha! There's some mulch piles if you're not tough enough to sleep on the ground.
Love that vibe. Rugmeg.
What can I fill you with today?
Pause. Alright, let's just leave that situation there. Let's not get filled by Rugmag today. No, thank you. Cascus politely declines, on this day at least. Alright, let us head up into the halls of the chief and to see if we can talk with him about this Daggerfall Covenant business. Or talk to Landbor, I suppose, is what we were told to, who we were told to talk with. I do like how, so the orcs have a very martial culture, and I like how their architectural style, their great hall is basically like a fort, like that's the way it looks, right? An open air fort.
Think you're strong now? Give enchanting a try. A few soul gems and a bit of elbow grease is all it takes. You'll be arm wrestling trolls in no time.
I do like how the orc enchanter vendor has like an orc specific pitch for enchanting. I think that's a great detail. Alright, nothing to do with glyph stuff.
Come to try your hand at some alchemy? I started out as a brewer. Worked great for a while, but when my beer started turning people into mud crabs, I figured it was time for a change.
Suppose that would lead one to reconsider their career choice.
This was part of a larger plan, I'm sure of it.
What happened?
The Bloodthorn cult assaulted the fortress. They were repulsed, but they stole a Breton scroll the orcs found here long ago. Chief Tazgol thinks the attack failed, but I'm not so sure.
What do you mean?
The cultists retreated after the initial assault. They came here to steal that scroll, I'm sure of it. But why? Have they set a trap for us? We must know before the chief decides to attack.
How can I help?
Start with Shaman Laganak. She witnessed Bloodthorn rituals in the Carved Hills. She's waiting by the Longhouse south of here. Cultists were also seen at Morselli to the north, and Grimfield west of here.
What can you tell me about Morselli?
It's an Aeliad ruin. Years ago, Breton raiders attacked us. An outnumbered patrol held there for weeks until they were wiped out. Later, our army destroyed the raiders. It's just a ruin, really. I don't know what the Bloodthorn want with it.
What about Grimfield? That's an ominous name.
It's a graveyard. Not ours. Breton. When we conquered the islands hundreds of years ago, War Chief Isgol left it intact out of respect for our enemies. We don't desecrate graves, but the Bloodthorn cult will. Plenty of fresh bodies.
Cascus sweats nervously thinking about how he was just thinking about that. Probably, if you're dealing with a cult as your enemy on the island, or necromantic cult, the graveyard's probably not a very safe place to fight them in. What do you know about the Carved Hills?
It's mostly wilderness. There are Aeliad ruins, but they were looted long ago. I don't know what the Bloodthorns want there, but Laganak might know more.
We actually just talked to Laganak, so we already know that there's something going on in the Carved Hills that we need to investigate. Incidentally, Aeliad ruins are someplace that necromancers may have extra reason to search because the Aeliads were known for their power of necromancy. So something Cascus, unfortunately, is all too familiar with. If you're a reluctant necromancer and you're being forced by partially by sword point, partially by the intervention of a divine, or I should say of a powerful, spiritual being, not a divine. You definitely need to, if you want to find some necromantic information, the aliens do have some stuff locked away. But oh my gosh, there's what? Whoa! There's like 20 people here. What is going on? What is this? There's so much happening right here. There's people like attacking guards. You know, there's like crime happening. There's like 1 billion people here. Holy crap! I don't have any idea what's going on right here. I am not getting involved. All right.
We built this bank to last. We built it like a fortress.
Sure. All right, let me deposit some stuff here. This can probably sell for quite a bit. That as well. Store that. And I think I wanted to... Can I store these? I can, yeah. That's it, though. All right. Oh, hello. All right. Let's talk with Monar.
Hail, O Wayfarer. I must admit I am uneasy around so many orcs, but a carpenter must go where the wood is, yes? What can I help you with?
See, this guy, unlike the carpenter on Surs Mackay who complained about there not being any wood on Surs Mackay. Also, hold that thought. I just noticed the unfathomable drip of that orc over there. Like, what? Why is this guy dressed like gay Santa Claus? Look at that guy's got an amazing outfit. Oh my god. I gotta talk with him next, because I don't have any idea who this orc is in the background who's wearing, like, a runaway outfit, but look at that. Anyways, let's immediately talk about this. Traveling Festival Merchant.
I got what you need.
Okay, what what do you have? What is this? Oh, you know what? I think it's a festival. Yeah, this is the Christmas festival thing. So that's what's going on here. Damn. This outfit goes crazy. Anyways. Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, it's a festival. That's why there's so many people here. There's like festival NPCs here. Alright, I'll ignore them.
What are you hungry for?
Nothing right now. Okay. Let us head... Actually, before I go into the... no, I may as well go in here now and meet with the chief. There he is. First of all, though, Chakra's letter. Let's see here. Dugril, I hope you are well. Father says the land orcs are cowards to join the Bretons, but I wonder. There is strength in numbers. What does your war chief think? I am curious about life in the Covenant. What is life in the army like? Have you fought? A Bosmer told me the elves have a new queen. Is that true? Did she really say she was going to take back all of Tamriel? I heard that Duchess Lacana and Duke Nathaniel were married. A Redguard and a Breton? I wonder if the Duchess chose this. Oh, to choose your husband. Have you been to Stormhaven? The captain of a merchant ship said the Covenant attacked Davin's Watch, the Dark Elf city. He told me the Dark Elf summoned a Daedra, a creature of flame and bone, to fight them. Is that true? A Daedra? I think the captain was lying to me. I should have killed him. I look forward to your reply. Write more often, cousin, and visit again soon. Chakra. Yes, these are actually references to storylines in the other zones, which we're going to see later on, so just ignore any of these spoilers. Hello, Chief Tazgul.
You stand on orc soil, Outlander. Tread carefully. This is not a good time to visit our island.
What happened?
Vile scum called the Bloodthorn cult attacked. I got the name from one of the survivors before I split his skull. They're necromancers, defilers of the dead. We taught them a lesson. They won't be back.
Why did they attack?
Moloch only knows, and I don't care. Whatever the reason, they died poorly and in great numbers.
That's a great line. Did they take anything?
A few broke into my library, probably just to hide. Some old Breton scrolls are missing, likely destroyed in the attack. Breton scrawlings, bah! If they came for those, they wasted their lives.
Cascus' necromancer senses are tingling. Old Breton scrolls sounds exactly like the sort of things necromancers would want. What is this down here?
Is there a reason you're in the chief's chambers? If not, be on your way.
I mean, I guess fair enough. I just kind of walk. Oh, there's another dog. I love the number of dogs in this island. I'm a big dog fan, IRL. I got distracted by the dog. Oh, he has a dog up here as well? Oh my gosh. This guy's got dogs everywhere. Anyways, what was I saying? I suppose it is fair. Like, I just kind of wandered down into his bedroom, and his wife is like, what are you doing down here? You need to leave. This is Not your place. Get out of here. Hello, Lagable.
If I don't have it, you don't need it.
Yeah, I suppose that's a reasonable pitch. You know, I better deconstruct some stuff. There's no jewelry stations on the tutorial islands, based on what I assume must be an oversight. But at this point, it's been like 8 years since they could have fixed that, and they still haven't fixed it. So, oh, hello, Majol. What you doing up here?
Excuse me, but I'm meeting someone. Alone. Please be on your way.
Oh, meeting someone? I think I may know who he's meeting. What made you decide to join us?
Following Jakarn, of course. Why else would I be along? I'm looking forward to working alongside him, sweating shirtless in the hot sun. You wouldn't understand.
I see. I do appreciate the subtle bisexuality of Jakarn. As a bisexual myself, I think that bisexual characters in media are often presented in a very kind of exaggerated way. But the reality of bisexuality is that it's often just as subtle and kind of understated as heterosexuality is often presented, and as homosexuality often is, right? Also in media, you know, gay characters are usually presented in a very over-the-top way because straight audiences are more comfortable if gay characters are more easy to sort of sniff out or more easy to detect. But in reality, people of all sexualities present their sexuality in all sorts of different ways. So I generally like the way that this game's writing handles sexuality, which isn't a main theme of this game by any means, but there's quite a few really positive examples that I'll highlight as we do this project, do this series, of really good representation of different kind of, you know, gender and sexual identities that I think the writing in this game handles really tastefully. I do actually prefer what this game does over what Skyrim did. I have a very complicated feeling about the way Skyrim handles sexuality, where basically all characters in Skyrim that are marryable are essentially canonically bisexual, because you can marry any marryable character regardless of your character's sex, which is sort of the easy way out, in my opinion. That being said, in the history of media representing my community well, I will take what Skyrim does over most of what everything else has done in the history where it's not been good. But it's also like, you know, bisexuality doesn't just mean 50-50 even with no care for gender distinction. That's pansexuality. That's something different. So, anyways, let's talk to Gogrick here.
Don't let these meatheads get to you. A good set of lightweight armor is worth every bit of effort you put into it.
That's fair. Let's do some deconstruction here, or some researching, actually. Anything else? Nope. All right. Forge wife Klesh.
Ha! More driftwood washed up from the sea. I'm Tazgul's forge wife, so watch your tongue or I'll pull it out.
How long have the seamounts settled here?
Ha! Orcs don't settle lands. We take them. The Seamount clan was the scourge of the seas. We took this island when Chief Isgul cleared out the Bretons.
Why this island?
Why not? Good soil, stone, and ore, and plenty of it. And far from the mainland. Isgul wanted to raise it and move on, but his wives convinced him otherwise. 3 blades make a strong counter-argument.
I do like, we're going to learn more about Isgul later on, because he's an important character in the history of this island, but I do like the implication that Isgul was like, I want to, you know, sack this island and leave, and then his wives basically committed a coup and, like, held him at blade point, and were like, no, we're staying. It's kind of I mean, that is very much like an orc moment, like the culture of the orcs. You know, their violence and, you know, combat and sort of, you know, a lack of diplomacy is very much a big part of orcish culture in a way that's very positive for them, right? It's not just they lack it, but they enjoy their absence of it, right? Can you teach me smithing?
Steel and stone. Orcs don't give their secrets to outlanders. Try Daggerfall. I'm sure you could convince some poor sap there to teach you.
Well, hopefully Captain Colleen is aware that the orcs think that teaching smithing is going to be spilling trade secrets, because that's her pitch for the orcs to join the Covenant, is to smith weapons for them.
There's no steel better than orc steel. What more do you need to know?
That is fine. All right, let's check over here. We got ourselves a quest to pick up.
Hello there. We should just eat all the horses and be done with it.
Just out of nowhere. I mean, this is I think this is a reference to the Oblivion horse armor DLC, where the NPC that sells you horse armor is an orc who suspiciously like thinks about eating horses quite a bit and like mentions wanting to eat your horse. So it may just also be like an inside joke.
That fool girl, she doesn't know what she's doing. Outlander, have you met Lokra, the chief's daughter? She has a fascination with the lives of adventurers like you. It's unfortunate.
I actually have. She was on the pier looking at my ship, mentioning that she wished she could venture around the world like we are. Why is that?
As chief daughter, her duty is to be wed to another clan, to forge an alliance. Some seek to escape this honor. Lokra is on the verge of such a mistake. Perhaps you could dissuade her.
This seems like a clan affair.
It is because you are not of our clan that she might listen to you. If she departs without the blessing of the clan, she will be in exile. We cannot lose our only daughter, nor is Lokra ready to face the life of the clanless.
I can talk to her.
No mystery where to find Lokra. Check the docks. She'll be there, staring at your ship, if she hasn't already snuck aboard.
So Lokra isn't your daughter?
Moloch's hand, no. If she were, we would not have these troubles. She is the daughter of Shol, Tazgol's hearthwife. That one's softness has made Lokra selfish and difficult.
You don't get along with Shol.
I pay her no mind. I only wish I'd given Tazgol a daughter. My boys are strong, but the clan needs more daughters.
You mentioned the clan's blessing. They won't give it to Lokra?
Rarely does a clan permit a daughter to leave, and never without cause. Lokra is the chief's only daughter. We need her to do her duty. If she leaves without permission, well, clanless life is never easy.
That seems harsh.
Most outsiders view orcs as savage beasts. We have many enemies. We must be harsh to survive.
Hello, horse. Like, this is just a side effect of the camera mod, is we have some up-close and personal action with the horse during this conversation. I like to imagine that Cascus is just standing there and the horse is just like, like directly in front of him. He's smelling the necromancy. He's going to tell the orcs about it, but I do really like, and I will talk more about it as we do this quest. What's the name of this quest, actually? It's Daughter of Seamount, that's right. As we do this quest, this is one of my favorite quests on Betnikh, which may be a surprise, because it doesn't seem like that sort of interesting of a quest, but there's a lot going on in the subtext of this quest that I really appreciate in terms of writing and fleshing out this setting. Let's make our way back through the market over to the ship to go and talk with Lokra and do that quest, because there's a lot more people in the market for us to chat with. But yeah, I'll do the Daughter of Seamount quest before we... Oh, hello, what's going on back here?
Giving Irian the slip wasn't easy. He said he would be right over. I wonder if she caught him. I'd pay to see that argument.
Oh, more Jakarn shenanigans.
I wonder what's taking Jakarn so long. I wouldn't keep a girl like me waiting.
Alright. Let's see if we can find Jakarn. He's made promises to quite a few different people to go and rendezvous with them secretly at the same time, so he's put himself in a bit of a predicament, to be sure. What was I saying? Yeah, I really like the Daughter of Seamount quest. In terms of like the early quests, like obviously some of the quests later on have much more going on, but in terms of like an early quest in the game for the Daggerfall storyline, it's subtle, but it has some great implications that I think are interesting to consider. And some of the ideas of it are expanded way more in the Orsinium DLC, which has an entire zone of orcs and orc quests.
You look hungry.
No thank you.
I cannot wait until my next assignment. Orcs abhor outsider magic.
By the way, I love the sort of detail of this line from this character, because this is basically like a Mages Guild like outpost on the island, And obviously the orcs, because she's wearing a Mages Guild uniform, obviously the orcs would not really understand the value of the Mages Guild or wouldn't really appreciate it from their cultural standpoint, so her kind of annoyance is reasonable, I suppose.
The River of Plenty flows through my stall, adventurer.
Yeah. Alright.
Same old crap every day. If Tazgul would let us join the Covenant, we'd have stuff worth buying.
Is he going to eat from the end of the baguette like the other character was? Come on, let's see it. Just do the animation. Give it a munch. Come on, do it. He's just holding it, looking at me. Stop looking at me while you hold the baguette like that. Okay. Oh, there he goes. Yes.
I wanted to pick up something nice for Captain Colleen. Something to surprise her, like a new mug. But all this stuff is so expensive.
Maybe we've already talked with her about Captain Colleen, so...
You want a drink? Go see the other girl. I'm all out.
What, a drink? What? Oh, this is a brewery place, okay.
You think you can handle orcish brew?
I'm not gonna try. Cascus has probably tried orcish brew. Maybe he tried that brew that the alchemist had made that turned someone into a, what happened with that brew? Something happened with that brew that was problematic. I don't remember what she said, but... Yeah.
Fine woodwork from Cyrodiil and beyond.
Varenus? What are you doing here? I thought you were in HBO's Rome. Doesn't look quite like how I remember, but that's funny. I feel like they could have used the name Varenus for a character that was like an actual reference to the Rome show, as opposed to this balding guy with sideburns and a goatee. But that would have been quite the look for Varenus from the show.
They built that fort for a reason, friend. Why not buy some protection of your own?
Oh. Okay.
Scales can only protect you so much, Adept. I recommend heavier plates to keep you safe.
Also, this is the Fighters Guild outpost here, because we've got a character calling me an adept, which is a Fighters Guild term, and wearing Fighters Guild armor. I do think it's a bit embarrassing for the orcs that the heavy armor seller on their island is not an orc, but an Argonian of all things. You'd think they'd have an orc able to sell some heavy armor.
The quality of orcish arms and armor is excellent, but there are other goods.
It is funny as well, as soon as you realize that the guy that just did this voice line...
The quality of orcish arms and armor is excellent, but there are other goods.
That's Balgruuf from Skyrim, Jarl Balgruuf from Whiterun. And the Balgruuf voice actor is all over this game. There's a lot of like Balgruuf appearances playing different races, and it's really funny when you realize that. There's a few other voice actors that are coming straight from the Skyrim voice cast, but the Balgruuf voice is so distinctive, you can always notice it.
I lost my best daggers when the maiden's breath ran aground. I'm gonna pick up something new. The question is what? Do I need a new dagger or a trusty mace? Depends on what we're killing, I suppose.
Suppose so.
Want to kill something? I got what you need.
Yeah. Didn't want shy.
Be welcome and wallow. Gaze upon this wonderful armor and prepare to open your gold pouch very wide.
Some of these Argonian lines just always make me laugh. Prepare to open your gold pouch very wide. Man, I'm so excited to get to the Argonian areas, because just the way that they like say certain things is so weird. It's just really funny, you know. And it's all done with such a serious, you know, because the great thing about the Argonians is, like, culturally speaking, they're always a little bit sarcastic. Like, the way the Argonians say everything is always, like, slightly sardonic, which makes the weird line writing and the delivery so much better. Anyways, it is interesting. There's a surprising number of Argonians on Betnikh. I don't know if that's on purpose, but... Oh, here's Count Periville. We've read your letter.
Bloodthirsty savages. If they won't join the Covenant, they should be wiped out.
Okay, you seem to dislike orcs.
Who doesn't? Except for other orcs, of course. The orcs here stole this island from Bretons generations ago. They're still not part of the Covenant. Can you believe that? Chief Tazgul refuses to join.
Why?
Distrust of Bretons and Redguards, apparently. He's still angry about the sackings of Orsinium by Daggerfall and Sentinel. Refuses all overtures from the Covenant. Won't even listen.
Look, my dude, like, I, Cascus, am not even from this region, but even I know about the fact that the orcs might have a grudge about the sackings of Orsinium, but, alright, sure. Why did the Covenant send an orc hater here?
My dear fellow, I'm not alone in my opinions. All Bretons dislike orcs. And since we have to deal with them, my friends at court felt I was best qualified for this mission.
Sounds like you were actually sent here because you lost the political battle at court. Yeah, this is the envoy the Daggerfall Covenant has sent to convince the orcs here to join the Covenant. I can see why it's not working so well. They sent, like, the world's most open, like, orc racist, or racist against orcs, I should say, out here.
Help out a poor soul.
Poor me. He's not very bright. He'll never catch a fish that way.
What is Mingor doing?
I know I could shoot these fish if only they'd stop moving.
Ah. I mean, that is peak Bosmer brain right there, thinking archery solves everything. Good luck, Mingor. I agree with the Argonian. I don't think you're going to catch too many fish using that method. Also, this is a boat to a house, a Seaville Spire, which is only purchasable with real money, which means it's a better quality house, of course, because this game is very monetized. But I'll show you the house in just a sec here. It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I think we basically explored the whole town. We'll head over and talk with Lokra in just a sec here. First, let's go check out Seaville Spire, get a look at what I can never afford unless I throw down some serious cash. I don't think you can buy this for gold. If I can buy this for gold, that'd be pretty cool, but don't think that's going to be too likely. Yep, take a look at this. And it gets even better because most of the house is actually underwater. Let's take the whirlpool down. Yeah, look at this. Now this is quite the house. Let's yeah. This thing is huge, by the way. I'm not even going to show you everything, but there's like entire halls down that way. But the really cool part is over here. There's this section that's basically under the ocean with like a force field. I don't have any idea, by the way, what the in-universe explanation for this is, but it is cool, so I'll give it a pass. Yeah, this is quite the house. Let's see how much it costs. Oh, it's not even for sale right now, yeah. So that's the other thing that ZeniMax does, is they cycle available houses for sale in and out of the Crown Store to create a sense of urgency to buy it. Houses will be on the Crown Store and then leave it for years at a time. So within a couple years, this thing might pop back on for a bit and cost like, you know, like $100 of real money to buy. But if you're like a really, really committed ESO player and you're already, you know, spending a lot of money on it, and it's the main game you play and you get a lot of value out of it, you know, it's your call to, if you want to spend money like that. You know, generally, I have a very, like, I feel like I have kind of a complicated feeling about real money being spent on games, like in that way. I think especially for an online game, it's a little more acceptable to monetize it like that because you have to pay to maintain the game. And ZeniMax, to their credit, you know, whether you like their changes they made to the game over time or not, have been maintaining this game consistently and with pretty good community, you know, communication going on for nearly 10 years, which is, you know, not the norm for an online game. Most online games, you know, after a couple of years sort of peter out and die, but they've been keeping this game alive for much, much longer than people thought it would when it came out. So it's hard to say. Generally, the way that I sort of navigate the whole situation for me personally is if I can buy something in this game with gold, I'll prefer to buy it with gold, unless I can only buy it with crowns. Like some houses can only be bought with crowns. I prefer to really just have houses that I buy with in-game gold, so I feel like I've earned it myself, but I don't know. I don't really have a problem with people that choose to buy stuff with crowns. It's their money, you know, they can do what they want with it. And I like this game, I support this game. I'd rather have people, you know, help pay for this game's maintenance than, you know, spend their money on something else, so if they're going to spend the money either way. But I don't know, it's a complicated situation. I understand and I'm sympathetic to the point that people make that this game has a kind of a predatory monetization scheme. I think that's not an untrue statement. I think it is not necessarily on the better side or the better faith side of how it's monetized. But, you know, as far as I can tell, with the exception of classes requiring a purchase or requiring the expansion that they're coming out of. For example, the Necromancer class, you have to buy the class with crowns or buy the expansion that it came out in, which was the the Elsewhere expansion. Aside from that, most, I guess with the exception of like DLC skill lines, but like generally speaking, you know, those are still like gameplay content. You're not buying skill lines directly. I guess the exception to that would be the vampire and werewolf skill lines, but those aren't even necessarily super meta. You can get them in game through other players. So ZeniMax has narrowly managed to avoid having any power purchasable from the store directly, but they've come pretty close. And I think, I don't know, I'll continue sort of thinking about that, but generally I am pretty forgiving of this game's monetization because it is such a massive game and it's so impressive in its scale that I think I'm willing to overlook some bad practices to make it happen, especially because ZeniMax, you know, they, as far as I know, weren't given, you know, infinite resources by Bethesda to make this happen. Or I guess technically by the other ZeniMax, because there's ZeniMax Game Studios who made the game, then there's the ZeniMax publisher who also owns Bethesda. So it's not like all the money that Skyrim made went into this project, right? This was meant to be a moneymaker to help fund other projects for that publishing company. But whatever, let's talk about that some other time. Let's talk to Lokra now.
You were among the crew that arrived with Lambour, yes? I envy you. Free to see the world and make of your life whatever you wish.
You speak as if you're a prisoner.
Shackles are not always made of iron. My destiny was decided when I was born a female. As the chief's only daughter, my duty is to marry into another clan, forging an alliance. It is our way and my fate.
Huntwife Lurgush thinks you'll desert the clan.
If only I had the courage. I want nothing more than to see the world before I marry. But I can't. Not without the blessing of my mother and grandmother.
I could speak to them for you.
Go ahead. It won't do any good. Orc clans survived this way for many generations. It's simply how things are. I understand that, as much as it angers me.
Have you considered just leaving?
Of course, but that would mean abandoning my clan. I understand the importance of our traditions. I must be sure I'm doing the right thing.
Tell me more about your clan.
The clan chief is the only male who takes wives. The wives are crucial to the leadership and stability of the clan. Sons eventually try to take over the clan by strength, while daughters are married off to other clans.
So you don't want to be a chief's wife?
It's not that. I would enjoy the honor and responsibility of being a chief's wife. I just want to see the world, to live my life before I marry for the good of the clan.
I see. Yes, like I was saying earlier, I really like this quest and its writing, because it does something that I think is actually kind of tough to do in just a couple of, you know, conversations of dialogue with something like a scenario like this, that is kind of a familiar scenario in storytelling, right? You know, a young woman who is balking at her traditional expectations and wants to kind of run off and be more independent, and there's this kind of question of, you know, should she do that? And something I really like about Daughter of Seamount is that Lokra, realistically, for someone in that position, isn't kind of a, you know, mold-breaking, completely out of the bounds of her society, you know, she's not in a position where she basically says, you know, these traditions don't have any value, you know, I want to be completely free, I don't care at all about the traditions. Rather, more realistically to someone in that position, she actually does care about the traditions and says, my conflict isn't can I go or not. Like as she says, she's able to go if she wants. It's can I go while still feeling okay with my traditions? And it really highlights to me something really interesting about the conflict of tradition versus like sort of progress or new ideas versus the old ideas, which is, it's not so much, you know, can the change happen, which often the answer is yes, but can you feel okay balancing the change with what you like about the old system? And that's the real conflict of this quest. It's not, can Lokra leave, which as she points out, she can leave whenever she likes. It's, can she leave with a good conscience about her feeling of respect towards the old ways, which she does to some extent buy into. That's really the kind of moral question in this quest, which is so much more nuanced than just, oh, you know, poor Lokra, she's being forced to do this and she doesn't want to and she wants to escape. That'd be a much easier version of the quest they could have written that paints Lokra and her desire to leave as clearly morally right. But there's actually kind of a moral question here that Lokra isn't even sure about. You know, she herself says that she understands the value in her mind of being a chief's wife and her responsibility in that way. And this speaks to something I've been kind of hinting at about Orcish culture in this setting, which is, on its face, it seems very like traditional and very patriarchal. with, you know, one male clan that takes wives. But there's all these clues that you're getting throughout all this dialogue that there's actually quite a bit of power in the system held by women, right? The 3 wives of Isgol forced him to stay, which is a big, you know, leadership decision that as the leader of the clan, he in theory solely had, but he was sort of forced by his wives to do it. And here you have Lokra mentioning how the 2 people whose opinion on her leaving or not is what decides if it's sort of correct in her cultural viewpoint to do it, isn't her father, the chief, it's her mother and her grandmother, right? Matrilineal power is deciding this, right? She doesn't care what the chief thinks, and as we're going to discover later, the chief sort of doesn't care what the chief thinks. It's actually her mother and her grandmother, right? Those who are considered to have power over the proper role of a woman in her decision-making about this that Lokra cares about. And so there's a lot going on here, and it's so subtle, right? The writing of this, and that's sort of what I've been referencing earlier in this video as well. In this game, and I think in a way that's more consistent than the other Elder Scrolls games, the way that gender and sexuality topics are written about feels so much more nuanced and so much more interesting than just, you know, a classic, obvious feminist story of, you know, a woman who doesn't have any power and wants to leave and is being forced to stay. That's not the situation here. Lokra is allowed to leave whenever she likes, but she wants to feel reassured that her belief in her culture isn't in conflict with her desire to be independent, which in a situation where your culture is, you know, patriarchal and traditionalist, that coexistence of those things is not normally possible. So Lokra wants something that she really can't have. She either has to abandon her culture or she has to sort of bow before it. And this is a much more realistic and much more interesting and much more genuine reflection of that conflict in real life, right? So anyways, I really, really like the subtle nuance of this quest, which is a side quest in the tutorial island of Elder Scrolls Online. So I may be overthinking it slightly, but that's what I'm here to do, and that's what you're all here to watch at this stage of the playthrough. I'm sure everyone knows that this is what this is all about.
Greetings, friend of Lambor. How can an old orc help you?
Can we talk about Lokra?
I sensed Lokra found an ally in you, but your efforts are for naught. I cannot determine her path, nor can her mother or my son, the chief.
Then who?
Only Lokra can decide. Her sense of duty battles her desire to live her life. Many daughters have chosen exile over the years. I did once. While the decision is Lokra's alone, she seems to value your advice.
I think she wants the clan's blessing.
She wishes to be free of guilt. She knows what she wants, but fears the consequences. Choices always come with a price. Lokra must choose and accept the cost.
What should I tell her?
To follow her heart. Lokra knows what she wants, and she knows the cost. She wants to be free, but fears exile from the clan. Her heart knows the path she should follow.
Mm-hmm. So, Glorala basically says, my advice is I don't have advice. As a lawyer, I can appreciate this kind of non-comment that she made that basically doesn't put any responsibility on her. I think she may have gone to law school like me, but yeah, I mean, something I like about this as well is that the Hunt Wife told us that being clanless is like a terrible fate, but then Glorala, whose son is the leader of a clan, right? She came back because, you know, presumably because, you know, Tazgul is descended from Isgol. She's also in the line of descent. She came back. She fathered Tazgul with presumably the chief of this island, and her life has been just fine. She's the mother of the chief of the clan. So being clanless actually isn't that big of a deal, it seemed like, where it wasn't, at least when she did it. So again, we're getting these different perspectives, right? The Hunt Wife says being clanless is a death sentence, and then Glorala says being clanless is inconvenient, but you can come back and it's fine. So, like, what's the actual reality? Who knows, right? I think it's pretty clear that within orc society, there's disagreement about how bad being clanless is. And so that's what I like as well about this, is that through this quest, as the goal of the quest should ultimately be in a situation like this, we're learning a lot about orcish society in this very indirect way. We're not having a character sit us down and tell us to our face, in orcish society, being a clanless chief's daughter means this. We're having different characters who have different perspectives and different motives, each tell us their idea about what being clanless means, so that we can advise a character on whether we think she should decide to become clanless. So now we have to go talk to that lady in the bedroom who's the mom of Lokra. let's just hustle down here and chat with her. Man, the frame rate in this area is so low because of all the characters here.
Is there a reason you're in the chief's chambers? If not, be on your way.
I want to speak with you about Lokra.
You met my daughter then. She has spirit, I'll give her that. She'll make a worthy wife.
She isn't sure about that.
So, she sent you to argue for her. She knows her duty. It is our way. The alliance her marriage makes for our clan will enable us to survive in these dangerous times.
What if she promised to return?
She is the chief's only daughter. I would rather her be miserable and alive than dead on some fool adventure. But I don't expect an outsider to understand.
It's her life.
Our lives belong to the clan. Its survival depends on marriage alliances more than strong sword arms. Lokra must accept her part and perform her duty. If you want to help, remind her of this. Maybe she'll listen to you.
I see. So we got the Hearthwife's perspective here. Something I like as well is that this thinking that you need to have a strong alliance to protect the clan. Incidentally, you know who's offering Chief Tazgul a strong alliance to protect the clan? Captain Colleen and me. Right, the Daggerfall Covenant would be the strongest alliance of any alliance possible for this clan. And so it's interesting that the exact reason why the Hearthwife, I don't remember her name, but the Hearthwife doesn't want Lokra to leave, is the thing that we're offering to Tazgul, right? We offer a solution to this exact problem. So if the clan were to join the Covenant, Lokra wouldn't really be needed to marry with another clan. Like, what other clan is going to offer a better alliance than the Covenant, right? And maybe the thinking is, well, if they join the Covenant, they're not really allied with the Covenant, they're like a member of the Covenant, and that's kind of different. So I can still see the argument of joining the Covenant isn't really the same as having an alliance with another clan. But what other clan will they ally with that's not already in the Covenant? Most of the Orc clans have joined the Covenant at this point. So there's a lot going on kind of in the politics of this, but either way, it's clear that in this situation, the Hearthwife's, position isn't just ideological, it's maternal, right? She's the mom of Lokra, and of course no mother wants their kid to be killed on some adventure. So you can sort of see how, even though the Hearthwife is, trying to frame her argument from a political point of view, to some extent it's also, a personal point of view. She doesn't want her daughter to be in danger, as no mother wants for their kid, so that's understandable for sure.
I assume my family wasn't especially pleased with an outsider prying into our affairs. Remember, it was your idea.
They were very informative.
So what's your opinion, after talking to everyone? I really want to know.
I think that Cascus, having talked with everybody, does think that Lokra should leave the clan and venture with the crew and sort of see the world, both because he can relate to her situation for reasons I'll talk about in the future, in terms of wanting to kind of be out on an adventure and having responsibilities, but also because, based on the information he's gathered, being clanless doesn't seem like quite as bad as some are saying, right? The mom of the chief was able to be clanless and then come back and become essentially like the main queen of the island. So it doesn't seem like that bad, and the island, for its safety, according to Cascus's goals here, will hopefully join the Covenant. So Lokra's not even really needed for the safety of the clan. And putting that aside, Lokra, whether or not she's able to reconcile with her mom or with her family, to Cascus, that matters less than her, sort of self-actualizing and having a lifestyle that she really wants to be able to have. And being stuck on this island, she'll just grow old and resentful like her mom, who one wonders, maybe the mom wanted to go clanless as well and always chose not to. Hence why she's now so bitter and doesn't want Lokra to do it as well. So Cascus is going to advise Lokra, your life is your own, sail with us and see the world if that's what you want.
You're right. I value my family, but this is my life. I should live it as I choose. I'm going to follow my heart.
I'm glad I could help.
At last, I find myself looking forward to my future.
So you'll leave with us?
Yes. I'll say my farewells first. It won't be easy, but I won't sneak out like a thief. My family has a right to hear it from my lips. I'll see you on the ship when you're ready to leave.
That's respectable. Cascus can respect that. I think that Cascus, although he hasn't really had a lot of encounters with the orcs too much, he definitely respects the orcish culture quite a bit. I think there's some interesting parallels or some overlaps between orcish culture and imperial culture, particularly. what's the word? A Colovian culture. Cascus is a Colovian imperial, not a Nibonese imperial, which is a... Actually, I don't know if I would have mentioned that yet, or if anything I've said before alludes to that, but that is the reality of his character. He's a northern imperial, not a southern imperial. So, I think actually, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but he's, I think, specifically from Coral. If I haven't mentioned that, I'm mentioning it now. His home city is Coral in Cyrodiil. And when we go to Cyrodiil, I will actually go to Coral, and we'll check it out, see what's going on over there. Anyways, I got a bow. Let me go ahead and deconstruct that. Where is the wood station? Hold on. Wait, no, it's in the fort, isn't it? What's my horse button? Hold on, I haven't played this game in 5 years or something. No, it's been a month. What's my horse button? What's R? Okay. Let's mount our steed and a little bit of a... This isn't really any faster, but it looks faster. That sometimes is all that really matters. Alright.
Just a small donation.
Here it is. Let's deconstruct the bow. There we go. Alright, I think we should be good now to go ahead and start questing in Betnikh properly after an hour of just exploring the town. Let's head down and use the totem vision. Yeah, so the vision totem, rather. The totem vision. So all that hour was just here in this one area, but the rest of the island is more wilderness, so it's much more sort of spread out and spacious. Look at this fit. Damn. Hell yeah. Yeah, some of the, especially if you're willing to open up, as the one Argonian said, reach down to your gold pouch and open it wide, or whatever she said. As long as you're willing to spend some money on costume designs, you can create some crazy fits. I mean, I currently look like the biggest doofus on Earth with my rhino horn orc helmet and this cursed fit, but you can really come up with some really good-looking stuff if you, especially, you know, if you play the game quite a bit and you unlock different achievements to get different colors available to you. You can accomplish some really nice looks. All right, let's stick to the road here. And yeah, let's start exploring Betnikh. Let's make sure to use our necromantic powers far away from any orcs that might spot us, because that could be a scandal if we are discovered to be a necromancer. Here it is. All right, let's see what we can figure out using this vision totem. Having a vision of this bloodthorn, it looks like. Okay. See where he leads us.
The stench of these orcs is unbearable.
Here it is. Let's just RP walk our way across the bridge. He's a little bit faster than me, so I can't do that for too long. If you're wondering why I'm waiting, you actually have to wait for this guy to do his movement. If you go too far ahead, he resets. So this is some quest design that feels 10 years old at this point. Fortunately, this is not too common in this game. And this is a tutorial area, to be fair. Oh, finally he's running. There's a sky shard over there. Very nice. Some Alien ruins. Get ready to see a lot of Alien ruins, by the way, because these are quite common in High Rock. More visions.
You have the scroll. Rejoice that you did not fail. Varden will be pleased.
I live to serve my masters.
Go west to the Iliad site. The scroll's ritual should enable you to succeed where the others failed.
I will not fail you, mistress.
Reach the Iliad site. Okay. Interesting. We're discovering the plot here. What was happening here? Who knows? Alright, let's hop on over and grab the Sky Shard. Was I saving skill points? I may have been doing that. Let me check really quick. That's not the right button. That's not the right button either. It's F3. I was saving skill points, right? So I can unlock my level 12 ultimate abilities now. So let me reorganize my bar here slightly so I can start leveling these up here. What do I want to level up first? I think I'm going to counterintuitively level up Reanimate first, because this is the one I'm probably going to use the least. I want to get the most experience per hour possible at lower levels leveling this up, which means let's take Resistant Flesh off the bar and learn Reanimate, just so I'm not having multiple skills of the same thing at the same time to make this asymmetrical. But bring your allies back from the brink of death, resurrecting up to 3 allies at the target location. So this is an ultimate ability. Ultimate abilities cost your ultimate points to spend, and you gain ultimate points by basically doing things in combat, and then you can have up to 500 stored at a time. So Reanimate is a very, very strong resurrection ultimate ability. Obviously, up to 3 allies is a lot for one ultimate cast. And then with my other skill points, I suppose, let's see here, I don't have Unstoppable yet. What can I put in the slot here? Do I have anything I can throw in the slot? Not really. Nothing yet. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I can actually switch out Puncture for defensive posture. In fact, I think I'll do that. So defensive posture. Let's put defensive posture actually in the slot here. So this costs stamina. It lasts for 6 seconds. Bolster your defense, gaining a damage shield that absorbs up to 8.4k damage for 6 seconds. This portion scales off your max health. You reflect the next harmful direct damage projectile cast at you. This effect can occur once per cast. So, what's my... Which one is... Oh, that's the sight. That is... Oh, that's my ultimate. Whoops. Okay, here's one. What is my... I need to fix all my mouse keybinds, because these keybinds are all weird. Just a quick sec. Right, so this should be... Right, that is correct. That's correct. How does this work? Oh, I see. Okay, so it's the bottom. So I'm using my mouse buttons to do my keybinds, and I need to figure out what their order was. So I have nothing to put in the first slot for now. That's fine. That's just that is the wrong button. Alright, a little bit of a sloppy start to this fight, but that's alright. Alright. Very good. Let's continue out this direction. There's a point of interest out here, Gilbert's Nook. Let's go check it out. Okay. Let's go harvest some of these goods over here. Oh my gosh. That's right there. Okay. On we go. What do we have in here? Note, Gilbert. Gilbert delivered 10 more black-robed freaks to Betnikh. Orcs none the wiser. While your coin is good, these folks aren't. It's plain as the nose on your face they're necromancers. Raising the dead disgusts decent folk, but it excites these buggers. I even heard one boasting about digging up a whole family lost to pox and trotting them around. I'm as open-minded as the next smuggler, but I do have standards. I'm done with this next batch. I don't care how good the gold is. These crazies would as soon stick a dagger in your belly as look at you. Get in touch with Peliquin out of Aldecroft if you want more of them run in. He takes any sort, even these. Stay safe, my friend. Ferrand. So let's, once we get to Aldecroft, let's look for someone named Peliquin to see if we can, see if that is indeed someone who would take all sorts of folk on, smuggling trips. I'll need to make some notes to keep track of all these different characters we have to go check up on. Oh my gosh, the lag. Alright, so where are we headed? We are headed to the alien site. We've gotten a little bit off track here, but that's alright. Let me not ignore this ore. I suppose we can do a little bit of off-road wandering. It's kind of nice, scenic countryside of Betnikh. Let's get the range. Get to Lingen. Over here. There's a ship out there. Very interesting. I actually don't know what that is. Anyways, we're getting too off track. Let's head on in and find this alien ruin. Ooh, Kuda. That's pretty rare. Good find. I think I found some in the last episode, too. I kind of remember something like that. I think this, yeah, we want to actually go north along this road to reach the ruin. Let's do just that. Definitely need some more coffee. Need to make some more in just a sec here. Let's clear out these wolves. Alright. There's actually NPCs nearby. I probably shouldn't use... Actually, hold on. This is not a criminal act, is it? No, Venom Skull. None of these are criminal abilities. Even Reanimate's not a criminal ability, so we can use our powers here, and no one will realize that they're necromancer powers. Whew, that's a relief. Ooh, we got some worms, finally. Look for that fish. Knowing my luck, I probably won't get it anytime soon, but perhaps. We are just shredding these wolves nice and quick. That's pretty good. The lag is a little alarming, but not exactly in like a multiplayer fight, so not a big deal. Alright. Here we are.
Now, read the scroll. The ritual it holds will send you into the spirit realm. Should you succeed, I will follow. In the name of the Bloodthorns, enter the spirit realm. Failure again. Perhaps an ancient curse lingers here. I will try the ritual in our lair.
Well, look who's here.
Ah. Looks like he was not rendezvousing with any of those people.
Into the Bloodthorn secret lair. I unburdened theirs. I've got your back, good looking.
What are you doing here, Jakar?
Looking for you. Lagonic told me you were headed this way, chasing the creeps who attacked the fortress.
You knew about the Bloodthorn lair?
Sure. I tracked a few of them to their cave. Rather than poke around on my own, I decided to wait for you, my friend. And here you are.
Here I am. Well, alright. Let's go find that lair. Looks like it is back over there. So, let us... first things first, though. I'm going to take a quick detour. Karn doesn't tell anyone about my necromancer abilities that I'm using in front of him. Let's go and talk to Magula.
I meet you at last. I saw you defeat the scheming Redguard who rules Stros Makai. I see great events swirling about you.
How?
Visions. This is one of 3 shrines around Betnikh that give glimpses of events that affect many lives. They affect you in particular. Would you like to see them yourself?
Yes.
Burn these herbs at each shrine. You will receive a vision of things to come. I will be in my longhouse, should you have questions.
I will. Alright.
I know what you're planning, Your Grace.
What are you doing here? Leave my room at once.
I won't allow Alcair to fall into Redguard hands.
Alcair in Redguard hands? Tears of Set. You've gone mad.
I'm sorry. This is the only way.
No! Please!
Oh. Well, that is some intrigue, a little bit of foresight about something that will happen later, perhaps, in the story. Incidentally, Alcair is a location in Stormhaven. It is over here, so we shall see if this is a vision of things to come, or what exactly that is about. Alright, so let's, we'll go to the Race Shrine in a bit to unlock it. We're going to go to that after this area, but let's head into the hideout and go check it out. Just absolutely shredded that wolf. Alright. Just keep gathering all this stuff here.
This place reminds me of the grave. Great memories.
I'm sure, yeah. Alright. In we go to another dank dungeon.
Why do evil lairs always smell so bad?
Jakarn is right with us with that criticism. Look at this place. The verticality is crazy. Is there something back here? No. Loot everything here. Leave no stone unturned. Future me doing provisioning will appreciate the work I put in early on.
This place clean. Later.
Yeah, keeping up with your provisioning really does require spending a lot of money on guild traders, unless you loot everything and just gather the materials from looting just all the time whenever you can. Then you're able to avoid the money with guild traders, so it's a cost-saving measure for myself later on. I will use all these resources sooner or later. Alright. Is there something back here? Nothing but a crazy scene. Look at this guy. Yikes. He's got mind. Right, down we go.
We could always ask them to leave the island.
You want to try that, Jakarn? Just politely ask them to leave. I'm sure they'll do it if you ask them. I suppose we haven't tried that yet. Maybe Tazgul should have tried that as well, but seems a bit late for that now.
Last. Success. We can enter the spirit realm. The next phase of our mission can begin.
Okay. Soul gems. Is this a skull with gem eyes? What is this? Can I take this? That looks kind of valuable. You seeing this, Shkarn? Okay, wow. Varden's diary. A search of the Aelid ruins to the north yielded no new information. I wonder if the ancient tales were merely to deter grave robbers. Queen Neres was grieved by the death of the king. Perhaps she made it all up. Drusilla returns tomorrow. She might see something I missed. Drusilla had no luck. The ruins remain inexplicable. If there is a great power here, its whereabouts are unknown. Drusilla suggested taking local orcs for interrogation. Under duress, they may provide details we have yet to discover. We will find some who will not be missed. Success. Interrogation yield mentions of a hidden door beneath the orc fortress. This may lead to the fabled library of old King Renwick. If the tales are true, the library holds the information we seek. I have sent word to the Gravesinger. At this point, Cascus's eyes perk up at the mention of that name, but we'll come back to that later. If he refuses to send aid, I will know his true motivation. Aid arrived. Cursed Gravesinger. I expected adepts of the highest caliber, instead I get initiates who have done little beyond raise their first corpse. The Gravesinger is amused, no doubt. Still, initiates will do as catapult fodder. While they distract the orcs, a spy will use the hidden door to slip into the library. I am certain the scroll we seek can be found there. At last, the scroll confirmed a power here beyond my wildest expectations. Taking this miserable island from the orcs is but the start of our crusade. Once the power is in my hands, the armies of the Daggerfall Covenant will fall like leaves before us. I wonder how the Gravesinger will explain his failure when I conquer Glenumbra out from under him. So the Gravesinger is in Glenumbra. Cascus shivers with concern about that. Yeah, he has a previous background with the Gravesinger. We'll learn more about him in the Glenumbra storyline, and a bit in this storyline too. But yeah, Cascus thinks that no matter what happens, he is on a collision course back to the Gravesinger, and he will have to try his best to
his bloodthorns need to be robbed.
Try his best to get his revenge for what the Gravesinger did to him. We'll talk about that in the future. Alright, so we've learned a bit about the Bloodthorn plot. The local Bloodthorn leader of the cult on the island, Votan, is trying to use some sort of power that he believes is hidden away on the island to take over the island. Before we hop down, let's explore this sort of mountaintop area. Might be some chest up here or something. You never know. Always good to check. Not looking too promising, but there might be something up here. This area is not normally accessible unless you go through the dungeon, so it could be cool if there was something up here. Let's see if I can... Oh, let's not fall off the cliff there. Anything up here? No? Okay. Too good to be true. That's too bad. Let's just descend and talk to the folks on the ground. Alright, down we go. Yeah, let's just... Maybe I can land in the water? How deep is this water? It was just about deep enough. That's a relief. I'd have broken my legs if I misjudged that. Probably should have gone down a bit more carefully, but this worked.
You return. What did you learn of the Bloodthorn plans?
They are desperate to enter the spirit realm.
The fools! Did they succeed?
Yes, I saw it happen.
The dangers that face us become clearer. I will try to convince Chief Tazgol of this, though I doubt he will accept the word of an outsider. Your efforts on our behalf bring you honor.
Oh, thank you. Alright. We proceed onwards to the next area, which is Grimfield. That graveyard that was mentioned. Alright, on we go. Spiders? Something back here. That spider area. There's like a whole little spider section back here. Let's check it out. good. Alright, I think we've explored the spider area sufficiently. Let's continue along, looking for quests. Ooh, you know what? That is an upgrade right there. Definitely an upgrade. And it's also a fashion upgrade. Oh my god, that's much better. Finally. Something a bit more helmet looking. I think a Cascus is feeling a bit more respectable in this kind of drip. Alright. Let's follow this little side road to see where it goes. Spider eggs are a pretty good alchemical resource, so it doesn't hurt to gather a couple, even if I don't need to fight the spiders that badly. Kind of nice. Plus, I think just throwing these skulls is kind of fun, you know? Satisfying little animation. Alright. What do we have here? Another vision shrine. Let's see what we can discover about the plot. Oh my gosh.
You are one of us. Go. Spread our gift.
We're gonna fight a werewolf army in the future? Okay. Cascus is not sure how he feels about that, but I suppose that's what the vision is telling us. Or at least we're going to encounter a werewolf army. I guess I don't know if we're going to fight it. Presumably we're going to fight it. I mean, if this... I'm not going to spoil anything, but if this game were to have a plot twist where we're leading a werewolf army, that would only be the coolest thing ever. So I guess we'll see if that's where the game goes. Okay. Although I've played all of the main original storylines of the three factions all the way through at least once for each, I've not played most of the expansions, so I'm pretty excited to get there and actually have stories that I'm not already familiar with. That's going to be a pretty fun change of pace. Now we are approaching a Grimfield. You can see the Breton architecture a bit more around here. Although first, there's something off to the side we should go and investigate. All these wasps. This is not a very safe area. Yeah, this island outside of the actual Stonetooth Fortress town is not particularly safe. It's just full of animals and insects and monsters. It's fine by Cascus, fine by Quintus, I should say. We have 500 gold from that. Just level up health for now. Alright, anything I want to level up here? Nothing too major. I want to save my points now to start leveling up my crafting abilities once I get to Daggerfall. Plus, it's just not a bad idea to have some points saved up. It may seem like I'm wasting my points by not using them right away, but for most of the game after I hit level 50, once I'm into the champion points range, I'll be desperately looking for skill points to level up lots and lots and lots of different skill lines. So I will have my surplus of skill points for now and enjoy it while it lasts, because most of the game, I will not have skill points to spare for setting up my build. Give him the slash. Good stuff. What is going on over here? We have a little camp.
Stop fussing over me. Keep staring, Outlander, and I'll repay the sacking of Orsinium twice over. A few scratches don't bother me.
What's your problem?
You. Coming here, thinking you're better than us. Think again.
Maybe I am better.
Strong talk. Prove it. I bet my axe that any of my hunters could best you in a duel.
I'll take that bet.
Beat 3 of my hunters in duels, and my axe is yours.
Shouldn't I have something at stake?
No need. The loss of your dignity will be my reward.
Alright.
His hunters? Huh. The hunt wife better not hear him talking like that.
Would you like to duel?
And miss you embarrassing Garnik and his hunters? Not a chance.
He does have a chip on his shoulder.
He's even more close-minded than most males. It's a wonder any of them live to adulthood.
Should I just ignore him?
I wouldn't. He's strong enough to challenge Tazgol for leadership of the clan. If he succeeds, you'll want to be on his good side.
Alright, let's go talk to some of these Seamount hunters.
Yeah, I don't have all day.
Ready for a duel?
My daggers are always willing to teach a lesson.
Ready when you are. Alright. No one pay attention to my use of obvious necromantic abilities here. These aren't technically criminal acts, so shouldn't have my cover blown. I'll just throw skulls in a way that is hopefully not correctly interpreted as a necromancer ability. Alright, 1 of 3 defeated handily. Let's continue searching for
Why
opponents.
don't you face a real warrior?
Are you willing to duel me?
More than willing. It's been too long since I crushed an outsider's face.
We'll see. Alright, no sweat. One more.
Come to try your luck with me?
She's a bit more heavily armored, so maybe a tougher fight. Interested in a duel?
I'm always ready for a fight, especially without weapons.
Alright, let's do it.
Supposed to be scared.
Alright, nice and simple. Anything else tucked away over here I can look at? Probably not. But it never hurts to check. Ah, Garnick's hunting log. 20th of last seed, many wolf pelts, good meat for smoking. 22nd of last seed, Thiznaku and Buzog compete for most pelts. 11 pelts each, duel to break tie, Buzog wins. 23rd of last seed, Urateg claims to see outlanders in black robes in the forest. 26th last seed, definitely outlanders in forest, send a report to Chief Tazgul. 31st of last seed, outlanders in black robes are without honor, refuse to duel, attacked by hunters from the shadows, have requested warriors from Chief Tazgul. 2nd of Hearthfire, outlanders are raising the dead Bretons, wolves feed on dead, pelts ruined, meat inedible. 6 of Hearthfire, more outlanders, we'll see if these come with honor. Alright, interesting. We're getting a timeline of the Bloodthorn arrival on the island ahead of us, so they've not been here for super long. They were recently popped up, and yeah, we'll have to figure out if we can get more of a timeline of when the Bloodthorns came here from Glenumbra.
No need to gloat. I saw it all. Clearly, my hunters need more training.
And my reward?
My word is as solid as this steel. Take my axe. Maybe someday you'll learn how to use it.
Alright, that is actually probably an upgrade for me. In fact, I think the previous quest reward we got, which was that dagger, might have been an upgrade too. That would have been an upgrade, but at this point we can go ahead and just go to the upgraded upgrade, Garnick's Bite. Let's see here, deals disease damage as well as regular damage, and it has decisive as its modifier. This axe is as worn and caustic as Garnick himself. Tiny chunks of what may have once been a scalp are still stuck to the blade. Alright, no wonder it deals disease damage. That sounds gnarly. It is a Breton-style axe, which is a... Which is it? I think it is. That's interesting, that it's a Breton-style axe. Maybe Garnick got it from one of the Bloodthorns. But either way, we've got ourselves a disease axe now. Very nice. On to Brimfield we go. Dragonthorn. What is this? Just a corpse. I thought that was an ore, but no, it's a body. Not going to be mining that. That would be some serious necromancer powers to mine a body. Don't know how that would work exactly, but that's some forbidden necromancer knowledge even Quintus is not wanting to engage in. That's to say the least.
Hold it.
There's a zombie behind you.
Stop right there. No one enters. Chief Taskel's orders.
Where did all these zombies come from?
Bloodthorn cult. They're raising zombies all over the graveyard. I'm here to keep the people out until War Chief Taskel arrives and crushes them all.
Aren't you worried about the cult raising an army?
Ha! An army? These are Breton zombies. Flimsy little bodies in the ground. They'll die easy. Still, if you feel like slaughtering cultists, I won't stop you. Start with the crypt in the center. I saw a few in there.
I'll go have a look.
You get into trouble, you're on your own.
Why is there a Breton graveyard on Betnikh? Isn't this an orc island?
This was a Breton island, hundreds of years ago. War Chief Isgol and the Seamount orcs wiped them out. The Seamounts were the fiercest raiders on the sea, until we settled here.
What was so special about Betnikh?
Steel and stone, how could you ask? High, defensible cliffs, a view of all approaches from the fortress, fertile land for crops. What's not to like? Isgol's wives insisted we settle here, so we did.
If you own the island, why leave a Breton graveyard intact?
We're not savages. We respect the enemy's dead. When an orc dies, he gets a cairn to mark where he fell, weapons atop it. We don't stick our dead in the ground like Bretons. Even so, we won't desecrate their graves.
Why haven't you dealt with the zombies yourself?
My orders are to watch them until they try to break out, or until Chief Taskel gets here and cuts off their heads. That's all. An orc follows orders, even if they're stupid.
Fair enough. Quintus can relate to that one. He's had to follow some stupid orders back in the Legion. But anyways, let us start killing some zombies. Not get vomited on, please. Thank you. Alright, looks like we need to head into the central crypt. So let's head that direction. I'm sure these necromancers are wondering how and why a necromancer is attacking them, but they will have to just wonder as ghosts because they're gonna die. Line delivery is something that I can do sometimes, but not that time. Alright, in we go. Ooh. Lead for the Warcaller's painted drum. Very nice. Is my music on? Hold on. Yeah, it's on. Okay, it's just very quiet. Oh well. Let's find our way into this crypt. First, let's go and grab the Sky Shard here. I think we're going to get a skill point now. This will be the third of 3. So we can get that extra thing there. There it is. In we go. Oh, hello. We have ourselves a ghost. Ah. This is going to be handy. And a little familiar to Quintus. Oh yeah, this feels familiar. But now he's fully disguised. That should be handy. Hopefully the ghost knows that we put on the disguise, that we're not actually a Bloodthorn. Otherwise she might kill us. An Almanac of Betnikh. Chapter 3, The Cliffs of Betnikh. Of all the riches of this island called Betnikh, surely there are none more recognized or celebrated than its lofty cliffs. Those sturdy sentinels have awed many a visitor and made many an enemy think better of assailing those fortified shores. It is no wonder that early legends surrounding the island characterized it as home to a mighty rock monster that flung its craggy spines into the sea, to the grave misfortune of sailors who steered too close to shore. Though their true nature is less mystical or mythical, the cliffs of Betnikh are no less impressive for it. Nestled impenetrably among them is the jewel and protection of the kings of Betnikh, Sky Spire Keep. constructed during the reign of the Great Rimmon, second of the name. Skyspire Keep has held fast against countless attacks carved from the rock of those same cliffs, ancient and invincible. This almanac is a bit out of date. It seems they've not been told about the Seamount Orc takeover of the island and the renaming of it from Betnikh to Betnikh, but alright.
Greetings, stranger. You are not a cultist. Help us defeat these necromancers.
So she did see through the skies. That's good. How?
Take the Staff of Arche, a potent weapon against undead. You must first charge the staff, then use it to destroy the foul abominations summoned by these necromancers.
Hope Arcade doesn't mind me using a staff as a necromancer. How do I charge the staff?
The blasphemers employ dark magic to raise the dead, disrupt their rituals, and release that energy. The Staff of Arche will convert this into power to destroy their dark creations.
Who are you?
In life, I was a priestess of Arche. I served King Renwick for many years. I was with him when the Seamount Orcs invaded. We died together at their hands.
The Seamount clan killed you.
Many died under their blades, but that was long ago. The Bloodthorn cultists desecrate our graves today. I beg you to stop them.
Are you the guardian of this graveyard?
Even in death, I watch over my people. Necromancy is a crime against Arche. The aura of corruption builds as my countrymen's bodies are raised and desecrated by these minions of the worm. I need your help to stop them.
What can you tell me about these necromancers?
The Bloodthorn cult's necromancy corrupts nature. They're led by reachmen of the worst sort, allies of Manimarco. They raise our dead to assault the orcs. This desecration must end.
Well, I guess we're on the same team for now. Let's pick up the Staff of Arche. The Staff of Arche, once wielded by Frederic Liniel, its power has drained over the years.
Now, what have we here?
Ah.
Out for a stroll? Enjoying the scenery?
Look who it is. Larissa, what are you doing here?
Just exploring the island. I came across these fine fellows disturbing the graves and decided to kill a few. I've collected some robes in this bag. Take one if you want the zombies to leave you alone.
I've already... way ahead of you, Larissa. I've already figured that one out. Thanks, Larissa.
I'll be hunting cultists while you're playing with your staff. If I find any more robes, I'll leave them for you. These necromancers are disgusting. But they do dress well.
Really? You think these, you think this is the drip? Alright, Larissa. I guess to each their own. Cascus is just shaking his head in bewilderment at Larissa's, comment there. Alright. We will go ahead and do the ritual to power up the staff, but first I'm going to take a quick break. I'm just going to stand actually over here scenically by this grave thing. And yeah, I will be right back in just a few minutes here. Go ahead and skip ahead in the video to when I come back if you'd like to just not watch me idle here for a couple of minutes. Be right back. Alright. Looks like we are good to go here. Okay. Let's get in some more coffee. Alrighty, let's resume. We are on a mission here to charge the staff. Zombies won't attack us now, so that's quite handy. But if, like with the disguise from Strispakai, if we get into combat and we take any damage, the disguise will fall off. So we want to avoid the other necromancers who will see through the disguise right away. We have to kill them near these summoning circles, though, so let's try to kill them at range if possible. But they should drop disguises when they die, so if we get hit, not the end of the world. A little bit of expert dodging there. Take these energy notes. Incidentally, collecting the energy of the dead as you kill them is necromancy, so it is kind of funny that we're charging the Staff of RK by committing arguably necromantic acts. I guess you could quibble about, you know, whether it counts or not, but I think there's an interesting reading of the god RK, who is the god of the dead, and is very anti-necromancy, as his priestess just mentioned. There's a reading of this god's power as being not so much like opposite of necromancy, but just another expression of necromancy, or another understanding of it. Maybe I'm just trying to like speak from a pro-necromancer point of view, because the necromancers would certainly like RK to be conceived of as kind of like actually sort of indirectly being also a god of necromancy, but I don't know. Anyone in the comments who is more knowledgeable about the lore than me and can speak on whether there's a reasonable reading of RK as having kind of a necromancy undertone, let me know if I'm onto something there.
Staff is fully charged.
Probably I'm not.
Meet me at night.
So always safe to assume that I don't know what I'm talking about.
I sense great power in the staff. You've done well.
What do I do with it?
The staff will reveal circles of corruption among the crypts. There lurk the Bloodthorn cult's abominations, hidden in pockets of oblivion. Plant the staff in a circle to draw an abomination into our world, then destroy it.
Alright. Easy enough. Let's try to avoid any fighting here if we can. Just run past where they can spot us. Sneak around the outskirts. Alright, here we are. We're probably going to take damage because these are more little mini-boss fights, but there are some extra robes for us to pick up afterwards. Use the Staff of RK. Abomination of Wrath. Here we go. See if I can avoid any damage at all. Extra challenge for myself. I probably can, actually. Wow, I did not take any damage at all in that entire fight. Now that was clutch. Required. Yeah, I guess because the combat in this game is so easy, I can give myself little challenges like that to make it more difficult. May as well, since you know, doing the questing. This questing experience is not combat focused. Like the combat's just kind of something you're doing. It's more about the story for me, at least. So, yeah, we can actually join in with this person's Abomination of Fear summon. They'll take all the damage for me. Actually, their companion will take all the damage for me. Alright. Nice and simple. Cascus is thinking that, I even sneak through here, maybe. It's a very tight window. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and summon this last one here, the Abomination of Hate.
It is
wow,
done.
I just shredded that guy.
At the west end of the graveyard.
The skies held the entire time. That was not what I was expecting, but I will take that. Let's go and meet with Frederique, see what she has to say. There's something slightly scenic, I think, about High Rock, even though it's generally kind of rainy and cloudy and foggy. It's meant to basically be like England in terms of climate, so it's just very muggy everywhere. Oh, hello.
You desecrate a few old graves, and already the Bretons are back to complain. Nice work dealing with the cult. War Chief Tazgul will be pleased.
I like this guy. This guy's funny. He's like, these Bloodthorn are desecrating the graves, but the Breton ghosts are coming back and complaining about it.
The Bloodthorn's perversion of my people is ended. The honored dead are at rest once again.
Is the threat ended?
The cult focused all their power
Here it
into
is.
their abominations. Now these are dust and ash. The threat to us is ended, but the threat to you remains. King Renwick wishes to repay our debt to you. Speak to him. Learn your true peril.
Well, I mean, the Bloodthorns were trying to learn something about Renwick's time, so perhaps he has some info he can share with us. First, let me just look around for any stuff to loot. What is that? A little camp over here? Ah, some poultry and rabbit. I suppose I might as well do a little bit of fishing while I'm over here. I think you can pick up the saltwater fish from the waters here as well. If not, I'm going to waste 4 worms and feel very goofy. I'll have to check that later to see if it is... I think it's lootable from the waters of Betnikh or Sursmakai. Did I loot it already, actually? I should probably check that before I do too much fishing. I don't think I did. I vaguely remember not looting it. Let me check my achievements here. Is fishing in character? Where is fishing? Is it exploration? Here it is. Pretty sure I've not found it. I think it's at the bottom down here. Yeah, Sursmakai. Actually, it's just Sursmakai. Okay, I'm glad that I checked the achievement. Wasted 1 worm. What a disappointment. I'll never forgive myself for that one.
You have returned my people to their rest. I wish to repay you, but I have only information to give.
What can you tell me?
The Seamount Orcs attacked generations ago. They took our island. Under their rule, what we called Betnikh became Betnikh. My failure to defend my people was unforgivable. But how I attempted to defeat the Orcs was worse.
What did you do?
I attempted necromancy. An ancient Ayleid relic is buried on this island. The Bloodthorns seek its power. Enter the portal beside me. You will see my last day through the eyes of my enemies. Learn what you can.
Okay. Vision of the past. We shall learn what happened in ancient Karzog's demise. Interesting. So I'll say this is one of the cooler quests in the early parts of the game, just in sort of its premise, as we'll see in just a sec here. We're basically going to be experiencing the memories of one of the orcs as they're finishing their invasion of the island under Isgol.
Targoth! The Breton king has sealed himself deeper in the ruin. He is preparing some foul spell.
What spell is this?
I know only that the magic he summons will slaughter our army. Unless we stop him, every orc here will die.
How do we stop King Renwick?
We must learn how to reach their cowardly king and the nature of his foul magic. Make these prisoners talk. We have confiscated their belongings. They may hold clues to what they know.
How far should I go in my interrogations?
The Code of Moloch is clear. So long as these Bretons aid their king and his foul magic, they remain our enemies. If you can coerce them through words alone, do so. If not...
If not?
They must pay the blood price. I took this charm off a Reach Witch. Hold it tight and order any guard to execute his prisoner. The charm will chain their soul and compel them to answer you. You will have one question, Targoth. Ask wisely.
Is there honor in killing unarmed prisoners?
They aid their king in his foul plan to kill us all. Unless they tell us how to stop him, his magic will wipe us out. We are at war, Targoth. Do what you must.
Remind me about the Code of Moloch.
Don't steal. Don't attack without reason. Fight with honor. Protect your tribe. These Bretons claim to have surrendered, but if they refuse to answer truthfully, they remain our mortal enemies.
Interesting. So we got some Breton peasants. What do we have here? Note to Nerys. Well, there was Queen Nerys right there. I know how to save us, my love. Meet me at the ruins we spoke of a fortnight ago. Open the door using the method I taught you. Bring the Sane. Once inside, we will be safe. R. Probably Renwick.
You. How much more blood do you want?
Answer me truthfully, and you live. Lie to me, and you die.
You've invaded my home. You've slaughtered my people. Why would I help you, orc? You'll kill us all anyway.
So we have to pick a couple different options here, and based on the note we just read, we know that what the information that she has, that we can get from her while she's alive, is how to open the door. So we're going to say, "Tell me how to open the door that hides Renwick, or I will kill your daughter."
Lisanne? No, she's just a child. You cannot kill our child.
If you want to save her life, tell me how to reach Renwick.
No, Renwick, forgive me. There are crystals and braziers by the door. Turn them to lower the wards. Now, please, spare our daughter.
Right, well, as the Code of Moloch commands him, I think that Targoth, through the being witnessed sort of by Quintus in the future, will not tell the Executioner to kill Neressa, even though he could do that. And you are able to do that if you want to. What's going on over here? Counselor Rifra Montgred.
Please, don't kill me. I have gold. Lots of gold. Kill her. She knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
Bandit. Butcher. I am not afraid of you.
What can you tell me about King Renwick's plans?
I know nothing about his plans. I thought orcs had honor. Now you threaten unarmed prisoners? We have surrendered. Ransom us like civilized folk.
Tell me how to stop King Renwick, unless you want to die.
Savage orc. Do what you will. I will not betray my king or the royal family. When the mainland hears of what you've done, they will crush you.
We'll see about that. Incidentally, after this happened hundreds of years ago, the mainland did not, in fact, crush the Seamounts, and they continued to live on Betnikh for hundreds of years with no problem. So, yeah, I don't think mainland Daggerfall is too concerned about Betnikh or Betny.
Save me.
What's going on over here? Another note left over here. Draco's orders. I ask more of you today than I have in the past. You must hold the orcs. Give me time to complete the spell we discussed. Hold fast, Drago. Even if you fall, you will find victory. King Renwick.
Orc, you will pay for this.
Answer me truthfully, and you live. Lie to me, and you die.
You dictate terms, pig child? Give me back my sword and I'll give you a clean end. Ask your questions. Amuse me.
Tell me what magic your king plans, or I will hurt you.
Terrified, are you? Ha! You should be. Our king is a mighty sorcerer. Even now he summons an undead army from the depths of these ruins. Flee while you can, orc. Leave our island.
I have what I need. No need to kill him, although I'm tempted to have him be killed because he's just racist, but that's, if people were killed on sight for being racist, every NPC in this game would be killed. So, have to pick and choose our executions here. Oh, look who it is. It's Frederick Lionel herself, before being killed. Let's see what this says here. Crumbling Breton Scroll. So the aliens saw the error of their ways. They buried the weapons deep within the ancient tomb of what is now Betnikh. A recent handwritten notice scrawled below. How can I let Renwick do this? Our cave forbids it. I think we know, I think Frederick's discovered her king's plan, or she discovered it back at the time.
Pray to Arche, orc. Pray hard.
Alright. Let's continue looking around here.
Must I suffer so?
More sad Bretons. Some of our own have fallen as well. Here's a Princess Vasan herself, tucked away back here. Breton Bedtime Stories loose page. First the bear clawed at the tree, then he roared at it. He bit its bark and chewed, yet the princess stayed safe, laughing all the while. Finally the bear sat back on its haunches and spoke. Why do you fear, little girl? The princess shouted down, Because you'll eat me, silly bear. The bear just shook its grizzled head. I do not eat children. Come down and we will play a game. But the princess was too clever for the crafty bear. She knew it was a trick. Come up here if you're so eager for a game. The bear grunted. It began to climb. A handwritten note is scrawled in the margin of the page. Bring your mother to the ruins. Open the doors we discussed. Hurry, Vasan. It is the only place we can be safe. I love you. R. Okay.
You killed everyone I love. Why?
Incidentally, I have not killed your mother or your guard captain, so I've not been killing everyone you love. I may have been doing that before I took control of him as Quintus, but yeah. Anyways.
Targoth, our victory is near!
I know how to open the door.
By Moloch's right hand, my warcaller triumphs again. We will end this assault and the efforts of this cowardly king.
What will we do with King Renwick?
There's no honor in the slaughter of a broken people and defeated knights. If King Renwick surrenders, he will join his people in exile. Let them spread word of our ferocity across the seas.
What if he doesn't surrender?
Then I will cut him down. Stay your blade beyond this door, Tarkov. Leave King Renwick to me.
Well, something is going to happen in this room. We know that Renwick is dead, obviously, by the time that we met him in the main timeline, so I guess we'll see exactly what went down between Renwick and Ysgol.
Aliens! Damn you, help me!
What's this? Yes, I feel your power. But how do you work?
Renwick, surrender now, and I'll spare your worthless life.
Stay back! I hold destruction in my hands.
Magic cannot save you. Surrender or die.
Leave now, or I'll use this relic to obliterate you!
You will not harm my people. Draw steel!
Help me! Help me, damn you all!
Tarkov, bury this elf-loving fool. Those who remain will accept exile or die.
Well, now we know how the island was conquered in the end. Renwick failed to use whatever that relic was, and presumably it's still on the island.
Even my death failed my people.
You tried to use the relic and Ysgol killed you.
Yes. Once I summoned the relic's power, I realized what it demanded of me. Souls. It craves souls. I would not pay that price, but the Bloodthorn will. They will raise this undead army and slaughter you all.
How can I stop them?
The Aliad relic is the key, but my memories have faded with time. I no longer remember its location. I know only that you must find it before the Bloodthorn. I offer this knowledge as payment for the souls you saved today.
Ooh. Very nice. Now that is probably an upgrade. It's actually not really an upgrade. It probably is technically for this build, but I'll let's see. I'll keep my axe for now. I like the disease damage that I get from the axe. So take this disguise off at this point, I think. I guess I could keep it on for now. In case we run into any more Bloodthorn. Doesn't hurt to be in disguise. Alright, let's leave this graveyard. Alright, out we go. Well, presumably the relic is still in Karzog's Demise, which is where we were visiting in that vision, so I suppose if the people of the island know where that is, we can perhaps go find the relic and get it before the Bloodthorn get to it. Presumably that's what the Bloodthorn want, is to get to the relic and use it, since it's a relic of necromancy. As I said, the aliens have a lot of necromantic power in their society, or they did at the time, so their ruins would have necromantic relics here and there. It's not too surprising, honestly. You know what, that looks like something I can perhaps loot. Let's go check it out. Okay, no notes or anything, but can still be worth something. A couple miscellaneous bits of provisioning resources. Can't complain too much about that. What is that out there? Iorata. Let's go check that out. The last point of interest in... Oh, here's the last vision shrine as well. We'll go back to that after we check out this point of interest. The last point of interest on Stros Makai and Betnikh. Let's give it a look. There's a sunken alien ruin out here. Okay. Also, for reference, we're now up here, so we've done a big loop of the island. This was the graveyard area, this was the alien ruin with the vision, and now we're over here approaching whatever this is. Another alien ruin. But first, speaking of visions, let's go and check out the northern shrine and see what we can learn from this this vision here.
Hold on, let's think about this. What's to think about? It killed hundreds of orcs. The cultist did that. In the right hands, this could defend the Covenant against invaders. I'm not giving that thing to the people who leveled Orsinium.
Ah, so our final vision is the one that involves people we already know. Clearly, I mean, the context clues speak for themselves. We're going to find this relic, and there's going to be a debate about whether to use the relic, or maybe get rid of it, or seal it, or destroy it. Because the relic could have military benefits to the Covenant. An interesting question, and one that Quintus has a bit of time to ponder before he reaches the point where that vision might come true, and he has to actually help make a decision about that. On one hand, you know, in theory it's better for him if necromancy is more normalized, and if the Covenant's using some sort of necromantic relic as part of their war, that could destigmatize necromancy, because that's the power that Quintus has. On the other hand, Quintus isn't exactly pro-necromancy. He is not super thrilled that he has to use necromantic powers in his adventures, so he could sort of, it could go either way, right? He could see both sides of it. He knows firsthand the costs of necromancy on those who don't particularly want to be dealing with it, so you'll have to give it some thought before reaching the point where that decision has to be made. But anyways, let us venture through this excavation site and find out the what's happening at the Moricelli. Actually, we need to go back down here and talk to the person on the road. My mistake. Totally forgot about that. Let's just head over here. These are seamount ghosts, interestingly, in this area. Let's talk to...
Be at peace, ancestors.
Azlica.
The souls of the dead are restless. Ancient warriors who died in battle against the Bretons now rise. Who calls to them? Why?
Is there anything I can do?
You are one of the newcomers. Another of your crew, the mage Naramo, went to see what he could uncover. Find him and learn what he has seen.
Naramo. Where can I find him?
His magic enabled him to pass the spirits undetected. I suspect he looks to reach the inner ruins. Seek him near the doorway, beyond the fields where the dead roam.
I'll go and see if I can aid him.
Be careful. Foul magic taints the air. Perhaps your learned friend can shed some light on this dark mystery and help you to bring an end to its source.
You know these ruins well.
The aliens, wild elves as some call them, have always fascinated me. They are long gone, but their ruins remain on Betnikh. From these we glean how they lived and died so many years ago.
Isn't research a strange occupation for an orc?
We are not all warriors, and we are far from the savages outsiders assume. Some of us wield a quill as skillfully as others wield warhammers.
Well, fair enough. What was that? You hear that? Someone was yelling in the distance. Very strange. Alright, let us go and talk with Naramo, see what he has to say. You know, it's probably the ghosts that are yelling, actually, now that I think about it. That would make sense. They are tormented at the minute. See if we could free them from their torment. Guess we shall see. Alright, let's continue making our way up here to this ruin. Yeah, there's Naramo.
Ah, my old friend. Couldn't resist another exploration? Be mindful. This one may be a touch more dangerous. Foul necromancy is at work here.
I heard you were here. What's going on?
The mysteries of Nirn span beyond the Dwemer. The aliens fascinate me in equal measure. I had to see this place for myself. The more vexing mystery at present, however, lies with these orc spirits.
The spirits?
Even you must have noticed the ghostly figures in the field. This is no ordinary haunting. Something brought them back and binds them here. I suspect the answer is inside the catacombs.
Perhaps we should investigate.
Indeed you should. The ruin is sealed magically, but it is a minor challenge. I shall unseal the door for you and await your return. My research is best done in safety.
Naramo hasn't changed at all, sending us to go do the dirty work while he stays behind. I'm ready.
Just like old times, isn't it? I do like to have such a useful tool, ally with me.
Alright, thanks, Naramo. Appreciate it.
A proper application of magic to these stones, and the way is open.
Alright, well, thank you. Drusilla's note. Patriarch. Offered curses, threats, no useful information, died during interrogation. Older male. Claimed Chief Tazgul has intense fear of scorpions, likely fabrication intended to reduce pain, died during interrogation. Older daughter. Broke quickly, showed promise, sadly did nothing, died after interrogation. Older son. Killed self before interrogation could, oh my gosh, commence. Juked by that guy there. Anyways, Sloppy must remember to acquire new manacles. Youngest son revealed hidden entrance beneath Great Hall, possible link to library. Will keep alive until story is verified. Warning addendum, verified son story. All right, so I think from the earlier area we learned that what's his name? I don't remember his name. The main guy, the main villain of this island, had Drusilla interrogating orcs to look for information about the libraries. That must have been her notes from that interrogation. So we get some additional context there. Can I see the name of the guy in the quest here? I can't remember what his name was. We'll find out later, I'm sure. Alright. Loot the area, and then we'll head on in and see what we can find in there. Alright, in we go. Let's see if this disguise keeps us hidden. Actually, it doesn't seem like it is working anymore. We'll just go ahead and take that off then. Throw back on our fit. Alright. Oh, it's Warcrawler Targoth. We were just you.
You are not one of them. You have not the taint. Help us. Free us from this torment.
Who are you? What happened here?
I am Targoth, war caller of the Stone Wolves. Cultists have violated my tomb, and those of my warriors. The vile priestess Drusilla leads the cult, dragging our spirits back to this realm.
How?
In life, I wielded a magical war horn. My soldiers obeyed it, hearing its call across all barriers. Drusilla now uses it to call my warriors from beyond the grave, binding them to her will.
By the way, this is one of my favorite details of the Betnikh storyline. Targoth, hundreds of years ago, having a horn that calls the spirits of orc warriors back to help him in combat. There's a term for that, and that's necromancy. Targoth was a necromancer, and the fact that he and like the orcs after him don't understand that what he's describing is necromancy is hilarious. But like calling soldiers from beyond the grave to help you in battle, that's necromancy. Like, that is necromancy. So I don't know how intentional the kind of hypocrisy of Targoth is meant to be, but it is very funny when you realize it. How can Drusilla be stopped?
She is in the lower chambers. Kill her before she can send my soldiers against our descendants. That will free me from her bonds. Then the horn can return my warband to its honored rest.
I'll find her. Alright, we've got ourselves a mission to find this clearly necromantic relic that Targoth was using before. Alright, let's do it. Ooh, that is an upgrade. We're about to look really goofy again, but I am now a cat. Oh boy. Why can't I just have... Why can my fit never be anything not hideous? Alright, well, this is the look now. Everyone just has to deal with it. Man, I mean, this is a Khajiit helmet, so on a Khajiit head it would look alright, but on a human head, not so much. It is what it is. We gotta roll with it for the stats. Alright, let's continue in. So far, so good. Keep in mind that the skull ability costs stamina, not magicka, so... Oh, there's Drusilla. There she is. Alright, Drusilla. Let's do it. Alright, nice and simple. Ooh, it's a nice two-handed upgrade if I was using two-handed. Let's search quickly because she will respawn very fast. Let's grab all this random stuff. Ooh, that is not an upgrade, that is a thing I should learn. Alright. Assuming this is the war horn, we'll go and take a look at that in just a sec. This warhorn belonged to Warcaller Targoth.
You have freed me, but my warriors still cry out for an end to their torment.
What did the cultists want with your warband?
I overheard them mention the ruin of Karzog's demise. Whatever they're planning, it is to take place there. But that is not my concern. Now that you have the horn, free my warriors.
How?
Return the horn to its rightful place atop my tomb in the next chamber. Then my warriors will rest once again.
What if I keep the horn?
Then you condemn my warriors to further degradation. Surely you have more honor than that. We no longer belong in this realm. Our battle is over. Let us have peace.
Sure, it's easy to say that now that you're also affected by the horn, but when you were blowing the horn back hundreds of years ago to summon your warriors, I feel like that this was still the dynamic at the time, so it's pretty hard to feel sympathetic to Targoth, given how this horn works. And again, I don't know if this is on purpose or if this was just like a genuine mistake in the writing, because Targoth was committing necromancy in using the horn like that. So the fact that now he's bound to the horn and he's like, wah, free me from the horn, wah. When back in the day he was blowing his horn, I don't know why I did that motion, but he was blowing his horn all day long, you know, summoning ghosts. Like, now he understands what's wrong with it, but anyways. I think Cascus is... I think my irritation at Targoth is actually just kind of Cascus's irritation with him as well. But at the same time, even if Cascus kind of wouldn't mind condemning Targoth to being an uncomfortable ghost, because Targoth is kind of a hypocrite, I don't think Cascus is comfortable condemning all of those warriors to be stuck here. You know, Cascus is using necromancy out of a necessity, again, for reasons I'll sort of reveal later on. But he doesn't approve of necromancy. He's not, like, in favor of it. And he thinks that those orc warriors should be allowed to move on. So he's going to do the right thing in his mind and replace the warhorn on Targoth's tomb.
Your efforts honor us, champion.
Alright. Hopefully this will make the orcs...
I feel the spirits of my warriors return to rest, and so I shall follow.
Hopefully this makes the war chief, Tazgul, also appreciate what Quintus did here. Maybe join the Covenant on that basis. Hello, everybody. We have some people joining us.
Nothing but dusty tomes and rusty weapons. I expected tagging along with Naramo to be more lucrative.
I mean...
Superbly done, as expected. I'll just take a look around now that you've cleared the way.
Yeah, you're welcome, Naramo. I appreciate all the money you're offering me right now. Thanks for all the pay.
Foul cultists defiling the souls of the dead. I hope we find more of them so I can cut down a few myself.
I'm sure there are some respawning back there.
No one said anything about haunted ruins and necromancers. I didn't sign up for this.
Alright. Off we go. I think we, at this point, need to... Actually, I think Nicolene's gonna... Or Nicolette? Never mind.
The spirits have vanished. Their valiant souls rest once again. Quickly, tell me what you found below. We have much to discuss.
I released the spirits, but Karzog's demise is the cult's target.
Cultists have indeed been spotted at Karzog's demise. Their intent is unknown. I will pray for the honored dead, then return to speak with the chief. I fear all will be needed to end the Bloodthorn plot.
Found you.
Ah, knew it.
Glad I found you. I've got news.
Alright, hold on. A sec here. There we go. Alright.
We need you back at the fortress. Right now!
What's happening?
Orc scouts sighted Bloodthorn cultists in Karzog's demise. Tazgul's mobilizing the army to go kill them all, but Lambour's worried. She thinks it might be a trap. Did you find out anything?
The cultists seek an alien relic that can raise an invincible army.
That's awful. I'll go find the captain. Get back to the fortress and let Lambour know. Maybe it's not too late.
Alright. Looks like we have to save the day once again. Surprise, surprise. Alright, what am I looking at here? I think we just keep leveling everything as I've been doing. Need level 20 for that stuff. Yep, looking good to me. I could start getting some passives, but I want to save all my points for crafting. Alright, so now let's head back over to Stonetooth Fortress and warn the chief. I see it from here. I think just about... Hold on. It's over in this direction. Also, all the ghosts are gone because we've let them go free. If you keep the Warhorn, the ghosts become friendly, but they're still here on this realm, so... there's the fortress back there through the trees. So we've made our choice here. Yeah, ultimately, you know, Cascus, or Quintus is in a situation where he is sort of forced to use necromantic powers as his, you know, type of magic he has access to. This is not what he would have preferred, but, you know, this is the situation that he's in. He is the reluctant necromancer, after all. And exactly how it is, someone in this universe can be forced to use a certain kind of magic. Is something we will learn about later on. I don't want to get too far into the backstory here, but let's just say that a certain power has been placed upon Quintus that limits his access to magic, which as an Imperial, he's quite magically proficient normally, so he's stuck in a complicated situation there. Here's Lambert.
You're back. Good. Do you know what this cult is planning?
The cult seeks a powerful relic beneath Karzog's demise.
Bloodthorn cultists were sighted at those ruins. Chieftain Tazgol has already taken the army to deal with them. They're walking into a trap.
That's not good.
Chief Tazgol is leading the orcs toward Karzog's. He's determined to wipe the Bloodthorn cult off Betnikh.
What's wrong? You sound worried.
Chief Tazgol doesn't see the danger. The Bloodthorns are after an ancient alien weapon that we know nothing about. We must catch up to Tazgol and stop him from rushing in.
Let's get going.
Quickly, to Karzog to deal with this threat.
Yes, sir! We're doing good, actually. So let me quickly sell some stuff to the merchant.
Hello.
Yeah. I suppose I may as well do a little bit of deconstruction. Did I already do research today? I think I did. Yeah. And Targoth's shield is actually an upgrade, so let's throw that on. Yeah, look at that. Alright, and let's head over to the smithing area really quick. And deconstruct that other stuff over there. Then we'll head over to Karzog's demise and finish off Betnikh. This island is actually, I think it's a similar size, might be a little smaller than Stros but there's much less density of content. I think there's about half as much content as Stros, which is interesting. Alright, so we're already doing that. This, upgraded, or I mean all this, not upgraded, deconstructed. Nothing? Okay. That's fine. Alright. Off we go. Let us go and see if we can stop the Bloodthorn cultists from using this relic to destroy the island. Based on the vision we had, we know that we will, or that we think that we will. Actually, speaking of visions, let me quickly run back over and turn in the vision quest over in the house, because I will forget to do that if I don't do that now. So let's just, should I get dismounted when I go in here, so I don't know why I mounted up.
I've lost everything.
Yeah, there's something going on here with the festival. I'm just gonna ignore that. Alright. Let's mount up out here. And we get to galloping. Actually, it's over here. She's in the inn. Alright. There she is.
You've returned. You have questions.
How true were these visions?
You saw possible futures. No path is set. Your actions will influence what is to come.
Well, fair enough, I suppose. Maybe we'll be able to play a role in deciding what happens with that relic. Assuming we can get to it before the Bloodthorns use it. That is the assumption here. But knowing what it is about the Bloodthorn cult, Cascus is all too eager to prevent the Bloodthorns from using any powerful relic for any purpose at all. And at this point, although he doesn't really want to even think about it, part of him hopes that he can find out the fate of some other people that were involved in the event that led to him being captured and taken by the Bloodthorns, and offered, as he was, for that ritual years ago. But we will find out more about that in the future. I do have a basic outline in my mind of Quintus's backstory, but I don't want to get into it too much here. Just give me a sec to loot everything first. Lambor, then we'll talk to you.
Commander Karsh, what's wrong?
Bloodthorns raised a spectral army from the depths of the ruins. We can't defeat them.
Get the wounded back to the fortress. We'll put an end to this.
Captain Ramo get here ahead of me?
The cultists have somehow sealed the doors with the welkin stones.
Okay.
Find a way into the ruins.
The orcs are being routed by a spirit army. The Bloodthorns have tapped into a power I've never seen before.
Hey Ramo, how do I get inside?
The crystals around the door are activated by 3 welkin stones in the ruins. I think I can handle one of them, but you'll need to deal with the other 2.
I'll do my part. Alright.
I've got my eye on you.
All these orcs running away. Ah. Feels like I'm playing Frogger. Alright. Karzog's Demise. Here we are. Let's see what we can figure out. These are alien ghosts that are here. Oh. Hello, alien.
This is no place for the living. Be gone.
I need to pass the doorway.
Others entered before you. They have released an ancient evil in the depths of our sanctuary. No more shall pass.
I plan to end this evil.
On that promise, I will help you to enter our catacombs. Precede me to the door.
Follow me. Alright, so I like how on this island, there's actually a lot going on if you look at the history, and the history of the island is so important to the storyline. How, in succession, there were aliens here, and then Bretons, and then the Seamount Orcs, and then more recently the Bloodthorns. So, like, there's 4 different factions that all have different, like, places in the history of this island that all are relevant in the story of Betnikh. So I like the complexity there quite a bit. Don't lag behind, please. You can see the thorns of the Bloodthorns being raised around here. Bloodthorns have an interesting thing going on where they're necromancers, but they're also kind of like nature wizards. But they're using a lot of nature magic in a way that's kind of interesting with necromancy. It's a novel combination, to be sure. But these thorns are their calling card for sure. Alright, do your thing. Back into the world of the living here. See what Captain Colleen has to say.
Get this door open and we'll fight our way to the relic.
That's the plan.
We're with you. Captain Colleen's going to lead us in as soon as you open the door.
Alright. What do you think, Lambert?
Orcs are dying. Worse than dying. Get us in there!
Don't need to convince me. I'm on board with the plan. Alright. Let us fight our way through the temptation to pick up all this jute. There's a lot of jute spawns over here. I guess I should say clothing material. It's not necessarily just jute, but it's going to appear for us as jute. Let's just quickly go and pick up this stuff over here. Don't mind me, Lambor. Alright. Same thing over here. Let us summon the ghost. There he is.
Living and yet without a soul. How can this be?
That's a long story. My soul was stolen. I will get it back.
Are you one of those who violated our sanctuary?
No, I want to stop them.
Deep within our sanctuary, others have unleashed a force beyond their control. Lead me to the door if you dare to enter.
Let's go. Yeah, let's not forget that Quintus, after the events I've been talking about with the Bloodthorns, he also, separately from that, had his soul stolen by Molag Bal after he was sacrificed by Manimarco in that cinematic after we got to Daggerfall. So let's not forget that that happened also. It's an unrelated situation to what happened with the Bloodthorns before. it's a bit more serious as well, because the Bloodthorns never stole, you know, his soul. They did other stuff. But anyways, all right. Now we need to get the last of the guys over here. And that might actually be an upgrade. Let me check and see. Technically, this is an upgrade. All right, this is gonna avert your eyes because this drip is not going to improve things. Oh my god. Just the plunging V neckline of the armor. That's quite the look. There's only one man the Bloodthorns fear. Looks like the world's most scuffed superhero with the mask on. Yikes. Alright.
Violation. The living desecrate our sanctuary. Death to all.
Wait, I'm here to stop them.
A terror unseen for millennia has been unleashed. Death and eternal torment await all in this land. What hope do you have of stopping forces you cannot understand?
Let me inside and I'll try.
You lack a soul. That loss may serve you in good stead inside. Lead the way to the door, and I will help open it.
This way. Alright. Nice and easy. Alright, time has come.
It's opening. Get ready, everyone.
Best move quietly. The enemy is within.
Let's move.
We're right behind you, Captain.
Alright, here we go. For the fate of Betnikh. We enter Karzog's demise, not in the past, but in the present. Let's see what's been going on here since we last saw it through Warcaller Targoth's eyes. I think just before we took over Targoth's memory in that vision, Targoth blew the horn and summoned the ghosts of dead orcs, and then complained about necromancy being bad. I don't know why I'm so mean to Targoth. I mean, it's probably a writing mistake, but it's a very funny oversight if they didn't realize that necromancy was
These
necromancy.
look valuable, don't they?
Maybe they do. Let me first look at the room.
Never been in ruins this old before. But there's some good stuff just lying around, free for the taking.
What have you found out?
I overheard cultists talking about a portal. The relic that's causing all the trouble is in there. I lifted a uniform off a cultist who no longer needed it. It's waiting in the bag. Might help you get past some of the ones I left alive.
Thanks.
Get into that uniform and act natural. Should fool some of them at least.
Yeah, don't need to tell me twice. Well, you know what? I actually have a uniform on me. That's why I can't open it. There we go. Now, I bet you past this door, this looks familiar. This is the room. You can see it on the map as well. This is the room that everything happened in. So let's continue along down this way. The necromancers won't detect me. Ironically, some of them may actually recognize Quintus if they looked closely, but it's been a bit of time since they may have spotted. But yeah, let's continue along through here. So the sentries are able to spot me through the disguise, so let's tread carefully. Oh, alright, I have been revealed. Well, that's not good. The lore is that, or the kind of story explanation is that they reckon I don't summon. Oh, shoot, alright. Not that strong. I'm gonna pull this guy over here. Can't do much about that though. Or will we? Maybe we won't. Ooh, that looks valuable. I'm gonna get, I have to get a Tamriel Trade Center up and going to see if I can sell that for some good money, because I bet you that I could. Alright. Looking to see if another disguise drops, but probably not. Actually, does my disguise break, or do I just unequip it? I guess I don't know that. Either way, it doesn't matter. I have another disguise now, so let's, I think it does break, by the way. So we should be good to go. Oh, why am I... Oh, I almost just attacked that guy out of habit. Whoops. Don't mind me. Ignore the drawn weapons. Nothing to worry about there. Ooh, that looks ominous. Can I squeeze through here? Alright. Don't notice me, please. I think we've made it through. No more sentries. Whew. Dodge that. Look this on. Barjot's journal. 22nd of Sun's Height. Going to be a good dig. I have a feeling. Sailed in without a hitch. Ferrand knows his business. We'll be rich and gone before the orcs even know we're here. By the way, Ferrand was that smuggler who was writing to the other guy about not wanting to sail in cultists. So this is the journal of the guy that was on the boat. So that's a fun connection. If they were smart, they'd be digging in these ruins themselves, but I've never known orcs to be particularly smart. 28th of Sun's Height. 1 week with no loot. A tier insists there's a room we haven't found, but I'm sick of listening to that cat. It was a mistake to sign up for this dig. If the orcs don't kill us, a cave-in will. 29th of Sun's Height. I can't believe it. The cat found something. We discovered an old door hidden behind a bookcase. It hasn't been opened in Akatosh knows how long. Might finally see a good score. Even one decent relic would be enough to make this trip worthwhile. We open it tomorrow when Delphine gets back. Delphine? Whoa. Oh my gosh. Some time traveling shenanigans from Skyrim. 2nd of First Seed. Why would we do it? Why would we open the door? Did Atir know what would happen? I just can't get his screams out of my head. No relic is worth this. I'm leaving no matter what Delphine says. Even if there was a curse, I didn't touch it. What would some long-dead alien want with my soul anyways? Interesting.
The others have gone on ahead. I delayed here to discourage pursuit.
Are the others far?
Only a little ways ahead. We will be waiting for you.
Best of luck, Kassan.
Oh look, more gloom and death.
Hello, Jakarn. First things first. Let me just loot. Here we go.
Follow me. I know a shortcut.
Oh. Alright, Jakarn's going to show us a hidden entrance that we need his assistance to guide our way to.
One moment. I'll open this door for you.
Alright, Jakarn. Show me your secret passageway. Hold on, wait, there's stuff. Oh, whatever.
I'm off. Don't get murdered.
Alright, I'll try my best, Jakarn, just for you. These are new. I remember these. This is the area that we were running around in as Targoth before, but now there's traps here. Someone's added. Oh my gosh, someone's added these.
Worry not. Life still flows strongly through me. The others are waiting for you. I will be safe here.
Alright, Tumasha, take it easy. These traps are no joke. Guys, may as well throw this on. Speed things up for us. This is the door that we opened in the memory, which means we can probably get through it using the same method, or it may just be open already. Yeah, I suppose it was just open already. Well, in we go. Everybody's here.
I suspect that Votan died when the portal closed. The body cannot survive without the soul.
What can you tell me, Naramo?
The Bloodthorns created a portal to the spirit realm with this Welkin stone. Votan is on the other side, commanding the spirits slaying the orcs. He's trapped over there since we closed the portal.
If Votan is the name of the character. I almost had it before. How can we stop him?
Without the Breton ritual Votan used, only one without a soul can cross the portal. That means you. You must activate the Welkin stone, enter the spirit realm, and kill Votan.
I'm ready. Alright. Time has come. Let's take off this disguise. First I have to... There he is. I have to wait for him to respond. Alright, Votan. Time to fight.
You're too late. My army feeds.
Alright, time to decide the fate of the alien relic.
Strange that such a small thing can cause such terror. It must be destroyed.
Hold on, let's think about this.
What's to think about? It killed hundreds of orcs.
The cultist did that. In the right hands, this could defend the Covenant against invaders.
I'm not giving that thing to the people who leveled Orsinium.
So now the vision has come true, which makes us wonder if those other visions will come true as well. Colleen and Lambor have come to heads with each other. Is that the word? They've come to blows with each other. Or I guess the situation has come to a head, where Colleen wants us to, I guess, take the relic to the Covenant, and Lambor wants it destroyed or sealed or something. Let's see what they each have to say about their positions.
The relic, ours at last, for the Covenant.
So you're sure we should keep it?
Yes, keep it and use it. A discovery like this could tip the war in our favor. Think of all the lives we could save.
How would it save lives?
With this relic, our enemies would not dare invade the Covenant. No more pact raids out of Skyrim. No Dominion fleets in our waters. Think of a whole ocean here, not just the waves. It's what we must do to protect our people, all our people.
I have to think about this. Also, by the way, I do like how, in this moment, Colleen, who is generally a pretty smart character, is clearly being blinded by her patriotism and enthusiasm for the Covenant, because this relic doesn't, solve the war. This is one relic that can be effective when used, if it can be figured out how to use it at all, right? We don't even know if the relic can still be used. The Bloodthorns thought it could, but they never verified that. And ultimately, even if the Covenant uses the relic in the way Colleen's talking about, they can only use it in one place at a time, and the attacks on the Covenant are mostly happening from the water from different directions. So this relic would be a strong thing to add to the Covenant's arsenal, but at a great cost, because it is it's a necromantic relic. And necromancy, if not outright illegal everywhere, is illegal in Covenant civilization by and large, and is also controversial in the Covenant civilization by and large. So the idea that this relic would cleanly improve the war situation for the Covenant is something I don't really agree with, and I don't think that Quintus would agree with it either. I think Colleen is just overexcited by the prospect. I'm like, oh, look at this guy. Look at this outfit. Man, this is a crazy look right here. Sorry, I just had to compliment this random guy here. But anyways, let's see what Lambor has to say.
Destroy the relic now. Didn't you hear the screams as those things consumed the souls of my people?
This is a hard decision.
It should be an easy one. You must destroy it. Do not hand it to the ones who leveled Orsinium and tried to exterminate all my kind.
Orsinium? What do you mean?
Orsinium used to be the orc homeland. Breton and Redguard kings have a nasty habit of burning it to the ground. Now the Covenant will solve all our problems. You give them the relic, they'll use it to keep orcs in line. If not now, then one day.
It's not the worst argument, to be honest. I think that Quintus is thinking, yeah, she kind of has a point. And something that I have sort of alluded to before, I looked this up between episodes. I mean, I had like a month between episodes to look it up. But basically, the Covenant technically was founded about 15 years ago, so a lot of the writing that implies the Covenant was just created super recently sort of doesn't make any sense. I guess you could argue that the Covenant didn't really take on its current shape until the war started, and didn't really exist in the way that people talk about it until more recently, but yeah, the Covenant isn't exactly super new, so a lot of these storylines that are in relation to the Covenant being super recent don't really work. The problem is, the Aldmeri Dominion is fairly new. It's a couple years old, if I remember correctly, but the Covenant and the Pact are both quite a bit older, so the writing for the three factions tries to have the same dynamic where characters are talking about the faction being new, which in the case of the Dominion is accurate. The Dominion was essentially a recent foundation, and in the Dominion storyline, which we'll get to way in the future of this project, you know, the dynamics of the Dominion of having sort of equality between the High Elves and the other members is a newer phenomenon that is being really pushed by Queen Ayrenn in particular. But the Covenant and the Pact are both old factions that, you know, characters shouldn't really be like experiencing these big changes because of these factions coming into existence. So it's hard to say. There's an argument that the idea of like the Covenant being a unified military alliance in the context of the war, that's a newer thing, so that's fair, but I don't know. Anyways, how likely is that?
This object is a curse, a danger to all. It can be turned against anyone as easily as Votan turned it against the orcs. Unless you want me as an enemy, destroy that thing.
Thanks for your advice, Lambert. Right, so we know what Colleen and Lambert want, but let's see what the people on either of their side would prefer us to do. How about you, Nicolene?
I need you to listen to me.
What is it, Nicolene?
Keep the relic, please. My brothers are in the Covenant army. This could prevent war and save their lives.
I can't promise anything.
What do you mean? Didn't you hear me? Don't you dare risk the lives of my brothers. If you destroy that relic, I never want to see your face again.
This is probably the weakest argument from any of the characters here about why the relic should or should not be destroyed. First of all, her brothers, you know, chose to be soldiers unless they were conscripted by the army. Second of all, we're not going to prevent war. There's currently a war happening that your brothers are in, so it's not my fault whether or not, you know, they die in the war that was already happening. Third of all, this relic doesn't mean the war will end, as I just explained a minute ago when I was jumping around. So Nicolene is very clearly being driven by emotion here, and she's meant to be like a young, naive character, so it's not out of character, but it is like, you know, kind of nonsensical, the reason why she thinks this relic would be good. They should have just written her to, like, side with Colleen because she's in love with Colleen, so that's a fair enough reason. You don't need to invent brother characters to explain Nicolene siding with Colleen here. But anyways, how about you, Larissa?
First you appear out of nowhere, and now this. What are you, anyway?
What do you think should be done with the relic?
I don't often agree with Colleen, but she's right. We must hand it over to the Covenant. King Faharajad will see that it's used responsibly.
I wish I could be sure.
Trust Colleen. She knows Faharajad, and she's convinced the relic can save lives.
And incidentally, I actually think that this is not in character for Larissa to side with Colleen on this. Larissa's been portrayed so far as very much an independent, kind of, you know, live under her own rule kind of person, you know, someone that wouldn't really care about factions. She's more of a pirate, as I explained in previous episodes, she's more of a pirate than Colleen is. And so Larissa saying, we need to trust Faharajad, that's not consistent. And to be honest, I have kind of a theory about the way this entire ending scenario is, like the way it's happened here. They wanted there to be a choice the player makes between giving the relic to the Covenant or destroying the relic. The problem is, all of these characters, except for Colleen, probably would want the relic destroyed. But even with Colleen, the only way for her to not want the relic destroyed is for the other choice to be give the relic to the Covenant, because Colleen has been set up as a very patriotic Covenant supporter. So arguably, Nicolene would support Colleen basically out of her loyalty to Colleen personally, and not because of what the relic means. But none of the other characters here arguably should want to see this relic given to the Covenant, in my opinion. Maybe you could argue that Larissa... I don't know even with that, I don't think Larissa would want this relic given to any faction like the Covenant. So But they wanted this, you know, debate to feel more balanced. Even in this situation, there's still one more person on the anti-relic side than on the pro-relic side. And even still, Larissa should really be on the anti-relic side. So, as we'll see as I talk with the anti-relic people, there's really not a strong argument for keeping the relic. But anyways, let's see what these folks have to say.
You're not considering keeping that thing, are you? It'd take all the fun out of war.
So many opinions.
This relic is too powerful. It'll corrupt anyone who has it. Destroy it and let's get out of here.
Right. How about you, Naramo?
This is a great moment. You will assist me in the study of this object, won't you?
I can't just give you the relic.
Why not? I'm the only one who might discover how it works. You can't hand it over to the fools who run the Covenant. Destroy it rather than that.
I haven't decided yet.
Give it to me or destroy it. Those are the only choices I will accept.
Yeah, Naramo should have been on the pro-relic side with that kind of twist of he wants to study the relic and he wants it to be preserved for that. That would have been reasonable if he was over on that side and Larissa was over here, but I don't know. For some reason they put Naramo on this side.
This thing must be destroyed.
I'm not so certain.
Have you not listened to Kalim? Her words betray visions of power over her enemies. This thing must be destroyed. We cannot allow this curse to fall upon anyone else.
Couldn't the relic be useful in the right hands?
There are no right hands to hold this evil. It must be destroyed. I cannot say with one who would give this to those who lead the Covenant.
I also just realized the other reason Larissa should not be on the pro-relic side, she hated, what's her name? Captain Helene, who was like, you know, abusing prisoners and had been abusing her cabin girl. Remember Larissa poisoned Captain Helene out of revenge for Captain Helene being evil? How can you argue that, you know, underfeeding and beating your cabin girl is less evil than using a necromantic relic to raise the dead from their slumber and torture them? Like, there's no, like Colleen is blinded by patriotism, Nicolene is blinded by being in love with Colleen, but Larissa doesn't have any reason to think that she would support the Covenant of all people having the relic. She's a pirate, right? She would not want people that would hunt her down as a criminal to have a relic like this. So I would say switch her. I mean, this is 10 years too late to recommend this, so it doesn't matter, but she should have been switched with Naramo. Naramo should have been on the pro-relic side and saying, yeah, I don't really trust the Covenant, but I want the relic preserved so I can study it, so I can learn how to use its power. That would have been a Naramo thing to say, in my opinion. But anyways, the time has come. What will be done with the relic by Quintus? Obviously, Quintus is going to banish the relic. He does not think the Covenant should have this power, and he doesn't think anyone should have this power. He, as I've said, wishes he did not have, necromancer powers himself, and he definitely agrees with the anti-relic side of thinking the Covenant should not have access to this power. It's only going to lead to more harm and more problems for the world. So, sorry Colleen, sorry Nicolene, sorry Larissa for some reason, but we're going to banish the relic into the spirit realm, which I'm sure the orcs of the island will appreciate at least. Alright, off it goes. Let's see what these folks have to say to me.
You've betrayed me and the Covenant with your actions. I can't stand to be in your company anymore. You'll leave here without me.
Yeah, fuck you, Colleen. It's such a... I really don't like how they sort of finish off Colleen's character here with this ridiculous position, because the entire time throughout the entire Stros Mackay and Betnikh storyline, Colleen's been intelligent, she's been thoughtful, she's thinking ahead, she has a loyalty to the Covenant, but is still grounded out of a pirate sensibility. But here, her patriotism to the Covenant is so overblown and so overwritten that she basically thinks that a relic of necromancy, something that's illegal in the Covenant, would first of all be used by the Covenant leadership in the war, which would give the enemies of the war so much propaganda against them, and for all the reasons I talked about earlier, wouldn't be practical to use. But she's thinking about this as me betraying the Covenant when I've just saved them from having access to a relic that involves necromantic powers from aliens. Like, this is ridiculous. So it's a shame that a character as interesting as Colleen has such a catastrophically stupid final, kind of situation going on, but it is what it is.
You destroyed something that might have brought us
this peace. You've doomed my brothers. If I never see you again, it'll be too soon.
Alright, Nicolene. I mean, the idea that having a necromantic relic that would achieve peace, that's how, like, Mana Marco sees the world. That's how the Worm Cult sees the world. They think that using necromancy and evil magic will lead to peace through sheer, you know, sheer kind of, what's the word, like dystopian authoritarianism.
You're a bigger fool than I thought. You're no shipmate of mine.
Yeah. Whatever. All these, See, all of the pro-relic arguments don't make any sense here. The thing is, what's a shame is there is actually a way to write a pro-relic argument that the characters could have said. I could think of something, right, if I wanted to. But they didn't give any of these three characters coherent arguments for being pro-relic, right? Larissa, it's out of character. They could have made Nicolene just side with Colleen and whatever, so the only person you have to give a good argument to is Colleen.
Well, at least I'm not dead.
And for Colleen, they could have had it been something a bit more nuanced, like, you know, I understand that this relic is dangerous and maybe controversial, but, you know, I think that the war, you know, it's not going well. I think that, you know, the Covenant is in serious danger. You need to have this relic as a last resort. Like, she could have acknowledged the downsides of the relic. Instead, she's like, this relic equals the war is over and the Covenant wins everything, which is not the case, right? And no intelligent character would think that was the case. So I feel like they really have to sort of downgrade Colleen to have her think the relic works the way that she says it does.
Your choice was the right one. Do not dwell on it.
Yeah, anyways, I think that I made the right choice.
I'm satisfied that fools won't be allowed to tinker with the relic. But I regret the lost opportunity to study it.
Right.
It was a tough choice, but you made the right one. Good job, my friend.
Glad to have Jakarn's approval, at least.
The relic is gone, and my people's souls are at rest. I thank you for your choice.
Alright. Let's go ahead and let Chief Tazgul know what we've done, and proceed from here. Well, first, we have some looting to do. Outside of Karzog's demise is a lot of nodes for things that spawn, so we want to grab things as we can. Jute is not that common, so nice when you can grab quite a bit of it in quick succession here. Also, all of the Aliad ghosts are now neutral to us, which is interesting, because we've destroyed the relic. They are freed, although they're still here for some reason. That doesn't really make sense, but I suppose that's fine. Let's just make our way out of here, looting as we go. But yeah, I've spent the last 9 years thinking that this relic quest is kind of ridiculous. It's a shame because I actually think Stros Mackay has a pretty well-written kind of main story, as it were, and Betnikh has a really interesting history. But this relic sort of storyline has, I think, kind of a an underwritten kind of closing. So I don't know. In general, I do think that the writing in this game is very high quality, which is why I'm making this series. But I think that it's a shame that Betnikh has kind of, in my opinion, sort of a nonsensical final sort of act, as it were, with this relic and the way the characters interact and talk about the relic. The relic idea isn't a bad idea on its own, but it's the way the characters have to, especially Colleen, have to really act out of character for there to be a choice the player makes. Because the reality of, like, this is a dangerous and controversial and evil thing which the Covenant could use, that's the real kind of answer of the pro-relic argument, but they have to frame it in a way that a player is more comfortable with making that choice, as opposed to letting the player decide, I'm going to do something that might be morally questionable, but it's pragmatic for the Covenant to have a powerful relic at their disposal. Right? That would have been a more realistic and more mature way to approach it, and having a character like Colleen support that idea and have her loyalty to the Covenant be how she can justify that would have been interesting, right? That would have been, you know, genuinely an interesting character beat for Colleen. So, I don't know. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Let's run our way out of here, leveling up all of our skills as we go. We can head on back to the fortress and report in to Chief Tazgul, let him know what's happened. And we'll be off to Daggerfall after that. But first I'm going to stop in here and construct all of my stuff here. Here we go. Very nice. Then let's head this way here.
If I don't have it,
I forgot to actually. Where is it? There we go. Alright.
I beg your pardon.
Hold on, wait, I want to go. I think I have a thing to disenchant. Yep, I do. Alright. And woodworking, let's not forget about that. Alright, nothing to deconstruct with the woodworking, but that is fine. Let's finally go and talk with Chief Tazgul, let him know what's happened.
What did you decide to do with the relic?
I destroyed it. No one will ever use it again.
The only correct choice. War should be honorable. There is no honor in the use of such a device. You have saved my tribe and my island. For this, I owe you a great debt.
Absolutely.
One less alien relic to plague our world. Good.
What's next?
Your actions have revealed a vulnerability. I thought my tribe safe on our island. This Bloodthorn attack proved me wrong. Only you and your friends on the Spearhead united were able to save this island.
What are you asking me to do?
Months ago, Sir Lannis offered membership in the Daggerfall Covenant. I refused. You showed me I was wrong. We need allies. I would ask you to travel to Glenumbra and give Sir Lannis my petition to join. I've ordered Captain Colleen to sail you there.
I'll forward your petition to join the Daggerfall Covenant. Alright, Colleen's probably not going to like having to travel with me, but as noted before, she has an unusual relationship with Tazgul where he could give her orders to do things, which is a little strange, but I guess that's the thing about Colleen, right? Like, if she truly is a patriotic, you know, advocate of the Covenant, why is she still taking orders from a guy who's not in the Covenant, right? So it's figuring out, sort of untangling Colleen's allegiances, and look at this thing. Now that is a certified store mount. Completely sure. That must be something from the store. That is too cool to be gettable in the game. I have to look up how to get that. You can get like atmosphere, like star animals. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Anyways, let us descend and get out of here. Colleen is not gonna be happy traveling with us, but she'll have to do it. This is our way out. And we will head off to Daggerfall at last.
I swore never to sail with you again, but Chief Tazgul has asked me to sail you to Glenumbra, which I will do.
Chief Tazgul is ready to join the Daggerfall Covenant. He asked you to take me to Daggerfall.
Only out of respect for the Chief and for the good of the Alliance, not for you. Are you ready to go?
Yes, let's go. On to Glenumbra, finally. Glenumbra, the westernmost region of High Rock, contains the city. Okay, yeah. Here we are in Glenumbra.
Welcome to Daggerfall.
You're up here. Ugh.
We're here, in Daggerfall. Now get off my boat.
Yeah. Here we are in Daggerfall. This is quite the... Look at this. This is a scenic view right here with the two moons, the walls of the city. Yeah, Daggerfall is a huge city compared to what we've seen so far. This is the city of Daggerfall here. And as you can see, what we're looking at in front of us are these walls right here. That's those walls over there. And just look at the scale of the city. And the scale of Glenumbra, because this is the city, right? We're looking at these walls. And then this is the entire peninsula of Glenumbra. And then Glenumbra is one of several zones that are in the High Rock area here. So there's quite a bit of adventuring ahead of us here in the Cascus playthrough. But that's going to be it for this episode of the Cascus playthrough. Next time we're going to start things off by sort of wrapping things up by talking with all of the folks on the boat, and then we'll head into the city and begin our adventures in Glenumbra and in Daggerfall proper. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.